the view of the.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Patty,
Hey,
Marcus,
hello,
Belle, David, and Taylor,
Tom.
Vikram,
Hello.
Byron.
Let me.
I've never
Wait,
heard that name before. That's a wonderful name.
wheel it keeps moving. Yeah.
You pronounced it right too, which
Oh,
sometimes
thank you.
people have questions about. But I think you both.
It's a lovely name. And we have Dom and Caroline, Anya, and Holly, and Laura.
Hey, Leela.
Cute.
Thank you for being here.
Leela, thank you for being here. And Amy,
Oh, hey.
long time no
Yeah.
see. So good to see
It's been
you.
a while.
Yeah, so good to see you. And Åsa.
Hello.
So nice to see so many new. And Gitte,
Hello.
so good to see you.
Before we really start, can you hear us okay? We have a different
new
microphone, and we noticed last week. Okay, thank you. Last week the audio was kind of low.
But we didn't find out afterwards
Until
when we
afterwards,
heard
yeah.
the recording.
Yeah.
But it's always like that with a new microphone, isn't it?
Yeah.
So nice. So nice to see so many new people. Welcome. The way it works is basically like you see, Gitte, she has raised her virtual hand. If you have a question, any question, then just raise your virtual hand and we take you by sequence. And you can ask us basically about anything, about your path, about the awakening curriculum, about inquiries or things that you're struggling with. And it can be as personal as you want to talk about it. We don't have any taboos or anything we don't talk about. And if you would like us to stop the recording so it's not going on YouTube, then we just do that. And then the conversation just stays here between us here today. So yeah, you're very welcome to participate as much or as little. For some people, it feels like daunting to raising your hand and being on the spot. So if you prefer being off the spot and with no camera on, then you're also more than welcome to do that. There's no performance here. You can just do whatever makes you feel most comfortable. And if you want to raise your hand and you want to say something and you just don't know what, then you're also welcome to raise your hand and just say hello and then jump off again right after. That's also very completely fine. On a practical note, we have the inquiry meeting. Thank you. The inquiry meeting here today. And then on Sunday, then is the next time that we have a meeting, and it's with the POK community. And if you would like to participate on that, what we're going to talk about is spiritual bypassing, which is an amazing topic that nobody wants to talk about. So we thought, let's do that. It's basically when you start to feel that you have done this for so long that you are a better meditator than other people. You know, you have seen through more self than the rest of the people in the groups. That type of spiritual bypassing, where we feel that we are further along than other people. Then obviously the whole point is who is further and along than whom. But we're going to talk more about that on Sunday.
Yeah. And so if you are not part of POK and haven't signed up for that, Leela, if you have Patty's email address and can pop it in the chat, we would appreciate it. You can email Patty Levin for access, say that you are part of our community and would like to join POK. And they have, if you're not familiar with it, they have lots of
they have amazing talks by
all sorts of
so many. It's a huge community.
Many weekly groups that you can participate in. Lots of different stuff there.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And then the next inquiry group that we have, which is the last one of the year, is going to be the 16th of December. And it's the same link as you used here today. And then in January, we don't have an inquiry group. We have the retreat, which is going to be the only retreat in 2026.
As far as we know.
As far as we know. Yeah. Right now, on what we are planning, it's going to be the only retreat. in 2026, and it's going to be a deep immersion retreat. So it's basically taking everything you have learned, all the books you have read, all the videos you have watched, all of that, taking it into a practical application so it's felt in the body. Because you can know all these things, but if it's not in your body, it's not going to change anything. Like we have said a million times, you're only 5% of who you actually think you are, because that is the conscious mind. The rest, the 95%, is subconscious. So the majority of your underlying beliefs is placed in your subconscious. You're not even aware of it. And that means that there can be obstacles in your subconscious that you're not aware of. And that is why it has never clicked. It's why that there's not a separate self, but it feels like there is. So what we're going to do in the deep immersion is via breath work, via lots and lots of inquiries, really deep inquiries, meditations, body exercises. Sorry, I'm interrupting you all the time.
Got it. You got it.
We're going to do different things to dissolve those obstructions that you have and see if all of it can be felt in the body. It's where we would like for you to leave the retreat and a change has happened, but you cannot say what that change was because it's not conscious. It's in the subconscious that there's something that has changed. And if you would like to join the retreat, that's another thing. We would like for it to be intimate. So it's not like, we don't expect there to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. We would like for it to be more intimate. And you can read everything about it and sign up on our homepage. Do you have the link?
Yes. Let me get back to the main chat, and here is the link for the homepage.
So you can read more about the retreat on the link that is in the chat now, and you can also sign up for the retreat there.
And yes, Diana, the retreat is virtual.
Yes. Yes.
We try to time it so that it's accessible to everybody, no matter where you are, within reason. We will have one pre-recorded morning meditation, which like people in Europe can do early in the day, because we're also having guest-led silent sits at different hours. So I think there's one, I think it's something like 3:00 in the morning Eastern time, but it'll be great for people in Europe. So
it's 9:00 in the morning.
Yeah,
there.
Exactly. So we're trying to make it as inclusive for everybody, regardless of your location.
Yeah. And we have an amazing support team by people that are available to go into video Discord rooms with you if you have issues when we're not there, so you can speak with them, and they can hold space for you, or they can support you in the best way. We have people in Australia and Europe and here, and
yeah. And thank you, Leila. It is somebody asked. It is January 17th through 23rd.
Yeah, so it's a full week.
Yeah, it's
a full week.
Yeah, Saturday to Friday.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's it. The last thing I want to say, if you would like to be part of our Hive Mind on Discord, we have an amazing community on Discord where you have so much support, so many guides that are helping out and supporting one another. We are very protective for the community, and we are the gateway keepers right now. That if you would like to join our Hive Mind community, you have to raise your hand and have a conversation with us, so we have a feeling of who you are. And then you can contact Todd afterwards, and he will forward you the entry link for Discord, because we're really, really protective for our community. It's a wonderful community. And it's another place where there's no taboo. You can talk about anything. Okay, I think that was it. So let's take the first one.
Yeah. Do you want to? We do a lot of times prioritize new people getting to speak first.
Yeah.
But do you want to take Gita first?
I would like to take Gita first. She has written me for about a month ago, and I haven't replied.
Well, then I guess it's time.
So I think
you really earned it.
Yeah. That's another thing. Don't write to me. Don't write to me. You will never ever hear from me. Write to Todd.
I do know that I won't hear from you, but I write for my own sake.
Okay. I'm happy about that.
That's fine. I don't expect to have to get an answer.
I'm happy about that, Keita. Thank you so much.
better approach.
It's a very good attitude to have towards me. It's a very good. You won't get a reply, but you're welcome to write. Like we have talked about multiple times, it is also a thing about accountability. If something happens in your life, you can write me, and then you know that I know, so you hold yourself accountable. How are you doing?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you don't reply. That's just the possibility to write is enough.
Thank
Because
you.
somehow I know what you were going to reply, so it's just it's a nice thing to put it down in words in a way that I know that you could understand.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole another language that I don't know many people who would be able to understand this way of thinking.
Yeah,
so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay, well, I just wanted to share these last days for my own sake to get some words and describe it. So it all started with our work group where Bente asked us. She took in Caroline Myth, Caroline Miss, I think Myth. No, I don't remember how she's called. And she asked us if we know her, Caroline Miss, I think she's called, and what it does to the body if you tell a lie. So she asked us if we were people who were lying, and it just hit me like, because I just realized when she said it that I do tell lies quite a lot, but so I tried to get into why I lie about things, and I got to understand that I lie about things because I'm so afraid of being told off by other adults.
Mm.
And that's why I'm lying. So in the weeks afterwards, I tried to stay in my body, noticing when I was saying something that wasn't right, telling a lie, and what happened to the body when I stayed with that feeling of not saying a lie, and why I was going to do it, and it was really horrible.
Mm. Yeah.
And the story I told myself is because I have this coworker and he's quite aggressive, and I know that's helping to get into seeing what it does to me, because I already have it inside me. He's just showing it that I have something, I have a fear there for being told off. And so further along, I noticed that when I wake up in the morning, I have like this hole in my chest, a very small hole, which is like a fear of what the day is going to bring. Because if I make a mistake, that's going to be very. And then today I had this. I've gone to another city. I live in Italy in something like Lolland. It's it's completely flat land, and you can't miss a street because you just know where to go always. And today I had to go to Cortina, which is in the mountain, and it's a very small town where they all go skiing. And they've decided to have road work today. And I woke up this morning with this fear, and then I went out to the car, and I had to get rid of all the ice on the car. And I got to Cortina, and there was road work everywhere, and I could just feel the body, which went completely in panic, because it was telling myself that it was that I was doing a horrible mistake by being late. No one was telling me that I was being late. No one.
No, you're in Italy. You can't be late.
That's yeah. But I just the feeling in the body just grew bigger and bigger and bigger and more uncomfortable. And it was so ridiculous. It really, it was very clear to me that it didn't make any sense that my body went completely in panic. So that's just what I wanted to share, because I do stay with the body, and I do know that I'm going to have to stay with this feeling for it to get some space around it, and for it to get to the point where I can take care of the part of me that goes into panic at the same time. So I really just wanted to share it.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I love how adult you are about this. I love that you're at a point now. I just want to say to everybody, Gitte is one of our supporters on retreats that we have. She's one of the people that are amazing for holding space. And as you can hear, you can share anything, with Gitte. What I would like to say is that I love that you are at a point where you go like, okay, wow. So when I lie, I do that as a diversion for something else. Let's find out what that is. And then you put yourself in positions where you are very, very honest and non-judgmental towards yourself to figure out when you're actually lying to other people. You find out, and I just want to say in the bracket that when we lie, we do it, as Gitte says, as a protection for something. It's a diversion for something. For example, if you have a nervous system that is dialed in with the flight, the fight, flight, the flight, that you always escape, then lying is basically a go-to, because you don't have to stay here and face the music here. You can just fly into a little story, and then you have basically left the situation where you're no longer authentically present with the other person, because you have left the building. You are in a little lie story. And that is one way that we are using flight as a survival mechanism, where we simply lie. And it can be about small things. But the reason why you do it is because staying here and being here is too vulnerable. So therefore we choose to escape and tell a lie like that. It can also be that you are the people pleaser, that is how your nervous system is, that you don't want to say anything or cause harm in the other person, so therefore you create a little story about it. So the first step into starting to dissolve seeing yourself and finding out how many times during the day are you actually lying, both to yourself and to other people, is first of all to be non-judgmental, to unconditionally accept anything that comes up in your body. And it's just being honest and being curious in the moment to notice, that's really weird. I don't have to lie. He would never say anything. So why am I escaping this situation when I can just be honest about it? And you don't have to change it. You don't have to do anything. It's just acknowledging this is what is happening right now. That is curious. I wonder what is the reason for that. And the more curious you are, the more you become aware of what is that undercurrent underneath that lie mechanism in you. And that is what Gitte realized. Oh, wow, it's fear. I'm waking up with a little hole in my chest every single morning, afraid of what today is going to bring. My undercurrent is fear. No matter what another person says, is getting angry at a pot and is yelling at the pot, I immediately contract in my body. I get fearful for what is going to happen, for my safety. My body is reacting as if this is about me. And then you realize today, when all of the things just compile, that it's fear that is motivating your entire survival mechanism. The way that you have survived your entire life is to be one step ahead of whatever you think is going to happen. And you do it correctly by feeling into the body. What I would like for you to do for the next thing, and I would like for you to talk about that, it's the next step of it, because feeling it in the body like you do now is the correct thing, but it's still just the entry point to what is actually happening, because you're still in the point where you feel fear is happening, a contraction in the body, and you feel that it's contracting, and you're aware this is fear, and you feel how you're driving quicker, and you're starting to ruminate about the situation and how you can, and what you're supposed to say and all of that. So you're in that space where fear is taking up everything. The next step for you is question even that. Because fear is not a real thing. It's just a label we put on, just like we put on, this is the color orange, and this is the definition of summer, and this is a definition of liquid, and it's the same thing. We just have a little label that we put on and say, this is the definition of fear. It doesn't make it real, though. It's
Well,
just
I've
a
started
label.
a bit by saying, is there really something to be fearful about? So
Yeah, that you can't use that, because your entire body is screaming, yes, there is so much to be fearful about, because you can't ask the question to the conscious mind. It's not helping you. Instead, I would like for you to stay in the body, stay in the feeling of it, and notice what because when you have that contraction in your chest, or that hole in your chest, that you asking, is there a reason for me to have this feeling of a hole in the chest? And you ask the conscious mind, and the conscious mind goes, no, that's not. Fine.
Sorted.
Doesn't, yeah, exactly, sorted. It doesn't help anything. You still have a hole in the chest. So instead, I would like for you to go from the conscious mind into the body and feeling that hole in the chest in this situation. How am I vulnerable right now? What can I do to support myself right now? And then notice, what does that hole in the chest actually feel like? Because that is not a solid thing. You don't have a hole in your chest.
So when you went into this part, I remember that this morning I did do that, and it just jumped from the chest to the throat, where it just sat like tears.
Yeah, and it's probably tears. Do you remember at the mind-body integration workshop we had, where I did that session with Caesar, where it's you asking into that tension you have in the throat?
Yeah.
What is the feeling here? It's tears. Okay, thank you. And then you just allow that to be. And if you start to cry, you just say thank you. When you stop to cry, you just say thank you. So you just keep acknowledging what is arising, and acknowledge it because it is arising. It's there. And when you feel nothing, thank you. I feel nothing. Thank you.
Yeah.
So whatever is arising is okay. This is what is present right now. And it's just an arising, and then it's dissolving, and another arising, and another dissolving. That is just happening.
Okay.
Wonderful. Let me know how you get on, and feel free to write me as much as you want.
Yeah, I will. Thank you.
Amazing.
Love you so much. Thank you.
Bye, Keita.
Bye.
All right.
Wonderful.
Amazing. So we have a lot of hands up.
We have a lot of hands.
So we'll just go down the line, because I think most of them are new people.
That's wonderful.
So we have Dom.
Hi, Dom.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
You're welcome.
Pleased to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah, my first time on
Welcome.
these sessions. Thank you. Yeah, and thanks for responding to my messages. I know back in January, and Todd more recently. Yeah, I just wanted to sort of connect and sort of maybe get a foothold on, where to get started and what's going to work for me in terms of getting into this process. I've been in recovery for many years, in 12-step recovery, which is a big part of my life, still very, very active in that. And I got into Buddhism soon after getting into 12-step recovery, and I was in the ordination process for a while. And, so I got quite seriously into all of that. But then more recently, I've got into the non-duality practices and teachers, and I did do a little bit of Fetter work with Lake.
Yeah.
You might remember that I mentioned.
Yeah. Lovely Lake. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was just a kind of via chat. It was via, that way that
Yeah,
we
yeah,
was doing it via messages.
yeah, yeah,
And then obviously, I circled back round and I came across the Awakening curriculum, and I sort of started looking at the videos. I find that I struggle a bit to like absorb a lot of information. Just me on
yeah,
my own, sitting there, just like absorbing like long talks and things like that. I find
yeah,
that just my brain just sort of fills up a bit and kind of
Yeah.
goes,
yeah. I get that. Yeah,
um, I am, I'm quite happy to do practice. I'm listening to actually Todd. I'm listening to some of your guided meditations in the morning. I find those the ones that you've done in the groups where you've just done like spontaneous guided
Yeah.
meditations. I find in those really easy to connect to and really easy to
yeah,
you know yeah, just to explore the exploration and the inquiry. I'm finding very sort of alive through that process.
yeah. I love those. Yeah,
Um,
I love those too.
and so obviously in 12-step recovery you have a sponsor, so typically you have someone who guides you through the process. There's a
Yeah.
lot of material and there's a lot of different, and I know I can just go and sort of navigate the site by myself and watch the videos and all that, but I'm wondering if there's another way
Yep.
to sort of yeah.
Yeah. I would say
Yeah.
definitely go to Toddy has your email, so he can send you the Discord.
I already have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You already, I sent you the Discord link, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the Discord link. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I would definitely say go to Discord and ask in there. So start with the first video, and then in Discord, under the first under the foundational fetters is the first and second and third fetter. Whenever you have watched a video and you have questions or you need a ping pong, right in there, because there are hundreds of guides in there that will pick up and reply to you right away. They have started a study group, but then
okay.
yeah, and it runs every Monday in, I think it's UK time. I think it's European time. That is it's yeah, I can't remember when the time is, but you can find it in there as well. And there's the
Okay,
link
great.
link for it as well. And what they do is that they take one video that you prepare for, watch and work with, and then you come to the Monday and then you talk about the video. What was your takeaway? What is your questions? And then you ping pong with the hive mind about it. So I can warmly recommend you to do that too. But I think instead of having one guide, because I don't think we have any that are just guides for one thing. No, it's more in the way that it works with the hive mind is more that you watch one video, 10 minutes of it, and then you have 10,000 questions. Sit down and feel into what is actually the confusion about this. What is, oh, I'm afraid that I'm missing out, or I'm afraid I don't understand, or I'm afraid of whatever it is. And that is what you write in the Discord. I just watched 10 minutes. I'm completely overwhelmed. How am I ever going to? Oh, you guys are much more smarter than I am. I will never, ever get this. Write that. Is that really be completely, as you know from the 12 step, be completely no bullshit, honest about your process. And then there will be people who pick you up right away. And it's not a person which you're going to work with, for the next year. You have 400 that you're working with actively that are reading what you're saying and is commenting on your experience and is supporting and helping you.
And is there any kind of face-to-face stuff? Is there any, I mean, aside from, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess you're doing online retreats.
Then you have Vince's groups for that, I would say.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say also, I mean, you can, if you reach out to people on there, like on the way Discord is set up, it's mostly text-based, but we also have video rooms in there, and you can also use it for very much like Zoom. So you can either say like, I'm going live into the video chat room. If anybody wants to join and just hang out and talk about this stuff, you could go on, and then people could potentially just join in. You can also, if there's somebody that you get to know on there and you've gone back and forth, you can also use that as a way of doing one-to-one Zoom calls with each other right on the Discord platform as well. But yeah, I mean, there are like you said, like Vince's group is also really good for that sort of thing. But yeah, I think what's really important with the whole practice, because it's true. I mean, it is an overwhelming number of videos, and there is an enormous amount of actual like material there.
And for every single one, I'm like, and write this down and work with this and sit with that and meditate on that. There's a lot of things to do. I mean, you're fully occupied for the next 2 years with the Awakening curriculum, with what is there.
Yeah,
It is a lot.
So I think what's important is to kind of gauge. I mean, you've been through a lot from the sounds of it. You've done a lot of different types of practices. So where do you feel like you're hung up at this point? What do you feel is your sticking point?
You mean in life or in terms of the?
Well, I mean, I think it's all connected, right?
Yeah,
so
it's the
so
same.
so
It's the same.
I suppose. I mean, I think, I really connected to what was just being talked about anxiety and dealing with that. That's something that, that's still left over. And I think, and also the things you talked about, the unconscious, unresolved stuff.
Yeah.
I've got, my life is, pretty good now. It's pretty, obviously pre-recovery, it was chaos. But it's been 17 years, and I've done a lot of practice in that time. But there's still this sort of lingering stuff that really feels unresolved. So that's kind of what I'm aiming at. I don't know if that answers your question.
It really does. It's the lower three feathers, and it's funnily enough the ones that Leg is not working that much with. So Leg is amazing and really good, and really good at working with 4 or 5, for example. But in the lower 3, it sounds like that is where you're gonna harvest the most. So if you simply start with the first lesson in the first feather and do all the foundational, right into the foundational chat on Discord when you have things that are coming up. Because I know in the community that the second feather is the one that most people are returning to and working with the most. Because it's where you become aware. What Gita just talked about is where it's her becoming aware of what is the underlying, cause and the underlying belief in her. What is the foundational fear that she has. And then she knows with clarity, okay, that's what it's about. And now I can apply that. You are becoming aware of that in the second feather.
Okay, that's good. I mean, that gives me a kind of, really good, solid way in, I think. And do structure,
exactly, and do structure. Take the first lesson in the first feather, the second lesson in the first feather, and do it like that up to you have done all 3 feathers. I'm making videos at the moment in a series that I call Heal to Awaken, and that is basically working with second feather stuff. So all the videos that are coming out now on Mondays is also something that you can use as well, because it's very much about the second feather, which is all the underlying beliefs that we have. I had one coming out yesterday about that feeling of righteous anger or righteous indignation, which stems from, never being cared for. So we focus on when other people are not cared for. So it's very much second feather stuff that I'm making material for at the moment. But then I would also say, like what you're doing and doing the meditations and the inquiries that Todd that he has on the Unfettered Mindfulness channel, they're amazing. They're really, really good for bringing a clarity to what is it that's alive right now and sitting with that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, of course. It's good seeing you. Yeah. See you soon. All right, Marcus.
Hello.
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 Well, thank
Welcome.
you for accepting me into your Discord
Of course.
and for the work you're doing. Um, oh boy. Okay, so where to start? I learned about you from Angelo's channel. If you want to know how
Thank you.
people come
Yep.
here,
Yep.
um, uh, and I um, I have multiple species of aneurotypicality. Which I know other people in the group do too, but
Oh
I
yeah.
have both I have both visual and auditory aphantasia, um, which is interesting in with non-dual teaching because I find I have to do a lot of
Yeah.
translating
Yes.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
kind of work from my mind. Um, but what I've learned is that my primary sense is the body
Mm.
Yeah.
sense, and
Yeah.
this was this is last couple of years, and I was blown away when I came to understand this because um, I'm so disassociated from my body. So
Yeah.
I'm like a extremely visual person who's worn a blindfold
Yeah.
all his life, and is
Yeah.
um, I come from my parents were college professors. I come from a family where it was like from the neck up.
Yes or not?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I find is that any somatic work is really potent for me. And in my meditation every day, it's all I'm staying in the body
Yeah.
Yep.
as much as I can. Um, and I'm doing yoga and TRE, and all this stuff is very new to me,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
being in my body at all.
Yeah.
Um, I also think I understand, or at least I have a story now about why, like, I never understood when people talk about meditation being blissful or even
Mm.
calming. I'm like, what are they talking about? It's like the body sensations. I've been doing it for 10 years, and even 10 years in, the uncomfortable body sensations are constant.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um,
There.
and that's just where I am right now, right? So, um, but the other a neurotypicality for me is autism, and I have what I think is pretty typical for autistic people in that oversensitivity
Mm.
to and overwhelm for all kinds of sensation. Um,
Yeah.
and body sensation. So, I'm always like, oh, my collar is touching my neck, and all that. Yeah, yeah, all that kind of stuff. So, and one of the big ones for me is itches.
Mm.
So when every meditation teacher I've ever had is like, well, if you get an itch, rather than scratching it, sit with it and all this kind of stuff. But I was always like, well, they don't understand. They don't
They
understand.
don't.
My brain can't
Yeah.
tell an itch from pain.
No.
Um,
Different rules apply.
yeah.
Different.
So
Yeah. Different rules
right.
apply. Yeah.
So I may have come to a slightly different place than where you're maybe going to guide me with
Okay.
this, and that's why I want to talk about it. So I, I also realized that I, I had a belief that I didn't realize I had, which is that going into the body, like the time to do that is when you have a body sensation that you can tell a story about it, that it's connected to an emotion.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
like, sure, if I'm feeling anger, and this is like the way therapists talk about it and everything.
Yeah.
If you're feeling anger, where is it in your body?
Mhm.
But somehow for me, sensations that weren't obviously connected to an emotion, like a stub toe pain or something, I was like, well, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
And so the itches were the same thing. I was like, well, I don't even need to examine them because that's not an itch isn't
Right.
anger or sadness, or I'm
Right.
not so sure about that anymore. But anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so I know you were shaking your head, but I sort of something happened about 3 weeks ago where I thought my entire life has been probably once a minute doing some kind of self-soothing to distract myself from a body sensation, like so much that I don't even notice I'm doing it, like constantly adjusting, scratching, like just
Yeah.
like there's this level of constant discomfort that I'm distracting myself from. And 3 weeks ago, I just had an intuition of just stop. And all this stuff came up like, but I can't. The itch. If I get the itch, as a child, I used to have these terrors of being immobilized because I was like, what if I couldn't scratch an itch? Like, I don't know if I'd survive that. So anyway, for the first time in my life, I've stopped scratching itches. There are other sensations too, but itches seem like easy to work with because they're reliable. They're going to come constantly, mostly on my face. And I was watching a video of a therapist who was talking about how she had done the same thing. And she was like, well, what I find is that, after about 20 seconds or 30 seconds, if I don't scratch it, if I just really go into that sensation, it goes away. And I was like, maybe that will happen to me. I went, no, if I don't scratch the itch, it can go on for 10 minutes, 15 minutes and grow and grow and grow in intensity. But I found out that I am able to not scratch the itches. Like I get taken right up to the brink of, I can't, I'm going to panic. But I never fall into panic. I just get really close to it and then I'm okay. Even if it goes on for 10 minutes. And after one of these little, I don't know, internal battles or whatever it is, these just floods of sensation, there's a kind of a vulnerability and a rawness and an openness that I'm not used to feeling and seems like kind of like cracking through something a bit, like thawing out from some disassociation. So anyway, I just wanted to get your impression about of this because it just seems like a thing that I've been ignoring all my life. It's huge.
Absolutely. It really, really sounds like it is. And I love how aware you are of this being, a gold pot for you. You said that the time to go into the body is when you have like a pain or you can make like a little story, an emotional connection, a little story about it. We would both say to you that the time to go into your body is when you have a body.
Yeah.
Right? The time to go into the body is all the time. All the time. Because 5% is your mind. It's nothing. It's 5%. You wouldn't even bet on that, if it was a bet. 95% is in the body. And the majority of it that is like really, really gold to you for you to learn from, you would never ever know consciously what that was about. Because it's a little click that is happening in the body and you can just feel something is different, but you cannot explain what it is that's different. So you're on the right path. The thing that I would like, to take you by the shoulders and steer away from that way and into that direction instead, is that it sounds a little bit to me that you are forceful. And I would love for you not to be forceful, but to be compassionate and curious and unconditionally accepting anything that is coming up. Because it's not about you not scratching an itch. It's about you feeling your body. And with love and compassion, you move, you cut the label out of your clothes and you turn your socks inside out and you do all of those normal things because different rules apply for us. We have a different nervous system. It's like having sun glaring into your eyes. You turn your head away or you take on a pair of sunglasses. It's just a normal love and compassionate action towards something that needs to be met, and then you meet the need. So if you feel that you need to scratch, then obviously scratch. You do that with love and compassion and kindness. I do, however, want you to feel that from the inside, because you say that I would die if I don't scratch it, I will die. If I had the fear when I was a child that if I couldn't scratch it, be immobile, I would die. That is a huge story that you have never investigated, because obviously you're not going to die because your nose is itchy, you know? But you can feel into that itchiness from the inside, because we are very, very quick in the mind to feel an itchy nose, and then immediately we have an image of how it is to be in the world where the nose is not itchy. Oh, I want that. And then it's the nose and that is it. We just missed a huge opportunity to feel what is actually arising in this moment. Because as you know, the moment you scratch your nose, you're happy for 5 seconds, and then something else is happening. Oh, it's the shoulder. Oh, that's good. It's the knee. Now it's the knee. So instead of that constant chasing of what could be better, then stay here and feel what is arising right now. And I think that is, if I should interpret and guess and all of that, that is what, a neurotypical body therapist would say. In her world, it would be just notice what it is. For us, it's like, feel that from the inside. How does it actually feel in this moment where everything is arising right now? The sun is shining, you're doing an inhalation, you're feeling your feet on the floor, you're present, you notice your earlobes, and now notice your nose that is itchy, So instead of letting this itch being taking up the entire world, notice all the other things that is arising in this moment together with an itchy nose. So it's no longer a diversion. It's a call to awakening in this moment and in this moment and in this moment. So there's an awareness, there's like a tap on the shoulder right now. Whenever you feel a scratch on itch somewhere, see it as, a tap on the shoulder for you to wake up in this moment and in this moment. So it's not about itching or not itching. It's about waking up right now to notice what is alive and present right now.
Thank you. I love that. I actually have felt, along with other feelings of, I don't want this. I've also felt some gratitude for it, for exactly the reason you say, because each time it just pulls me into the present. When I don't immediately scratch like that without any mindfulness at all, when I take that pause, it feels like it's such an alive body feeling.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And like you talked about, that could actually be the reason why you're diverting all the time. We have like we have a little film in our mind, so I can, with a movie in my mind, imagine like a cat jumping up on the dining table, even though we don't have a cat. I can, with a movie in my mind, imagine that happening. You haven't got that. You can't do that. All you have is the arising in the body in this present moment, now and now and now. There's nothing to divert your attention away from what is arising right now. And I can imagine as a child, not having any type of escape has given you different survival mechanisms than the rest of us we have because of aphantasia. So allow you to be the adult in the room now and to meet you with everything that is arising in this moment right now and just experience that.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'm also super curious. I had two things, but the first one is just out of base curiosity, and I know words aren't going to really be useful for describing this, but if you don't have an internal visual or auditory world, and you also spent most of your life not really in the body, like, where were you? What was your experience of the world? Was it just in the external sensations of sights and sounds and things like that? What is your sort of? Yeah, and I know it's a very hard thing, I'm sure, to.
I think it is largely external. I'm a visual artist, which
Oh, wow.
kind of blows people's mind when I say I have the aphantasia, but I can't I have to just, I can't like look at a vase of flowers and then draw it, because when my eyes move from the flowers to the canvas, I've
If
already lost
the
the
image is
flowers.
lost, that
So
is so fascinating.
it's sort of abstraction and things like that are just right on the canvas,
Yeah.
like making a mark and seeing it and reacting to it and that sort of
Yeah.
thing. But I do think even when I'm disassociated from my body, I'm never fully disassociated from it. So I think
Mm.
even at my most frozen, it was still my primary
Yeah.
sense. I
Yeah.
was just fighting it all the time, and then just mostly fighting it by this whole intellectual world of abstractions, of just
Yeah.
going into my head and my head and my head and philosophy and all this stuff. Yeah. I guess the one other thing I'll say about that is I lived in New York City for 20 years for a lot of my adult life, and I used the excitement and chaos of that
Yeah.
city
Yeah.
to distract myself
Yeah.
from. So there was always something visual, external,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
auditory and everything, always 24 hours a day. And I moved to a much quieter place, and that's kind of forced me to confront myself
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
way that
Absolutely.
yeah,
We have talked about that we would like to create a panel of people with aphantasia and then make a video where because we have a lot of people in our community
yeah,
that have those experiences, and then simply just have a talk with
Yeah.
all of you that we
Yeah.
record and put on YouTube on how it is to be in the world and to work with awakening when you have when you
I'd
can't
love to be.
visualize. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to be part of that. And I'm cognizant of the other people who are waiting to speak. So, Todd, the question you asked me, I could talk for much longer and more in
Yeah,
We
depth
would
yeah.
love
about
that. We
We
would love
would love
that.
to
at
hear it
some
because
point in the future.
absolutely, because even when you say that
Yeah.
you retreated into philosophy, I wonder without like for me, I need the internal dialogue to even have like an internal dialogue about something philosophical. So yeah, I
Yeah.
just find that absolutely yeah. And Leela, we know you're definitely going to be
Yeah.
up for that and be there for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm happy to be involved in that too. Did you say you had one other question or
Well, yeah, I was
comment?
just it was just a little comment about the when you were talking, and you really largely covered this too, but when it comes to that sitting and just watching the itch and waiting for it to go away, it was concerning when you got to the point where it's like, brink of madness before it, and before you do something about it. I think it's probably a difference of the neurology where I would say I think the reason that most teachers give that kind of a suggestion is because in sort of a neurotypical neurology, when we pay attention to something for more than a few seconds, it just goes away. Like that's we have that sensory, what's it called? Not sensory blindness. There's a term for it
Yeah.
where we very quickly lose contact with those sensations. And so if you have an itch, our normal reaction is just to go to it and scratch. But if you just sit with it for, like that person said, 20 or 30 seconds, it changes. It either completely dissolves or it becomes something different or
Something
it
else.
becomes like pleasurable or something is underneath it. And it sounds like your nervous system might not work that same way if it just keeps ever increasing and getting bigger and bigger and fuller and fuller. So it is important to take into consideration that bodies are different and
Different rules
yeah,
apply.
exactly.
Different rules apply. It's really something that whenever you watch a video of anybody saying something and coming with recommendations, have that in the back of your mind. Different rules apply.
Mhm.
And because even when you said that the itch, is more like a pain, theoretically, even in sort of a neurotypical context, we talk about sitting with pain, like even really excruciating chronic pain, and that can also change and dissolve and become pleasant and have all of these things. But not everybody, right? It's not like it's some metaphysical truth of like the soul in the body that somehow learns and transmutes it. It's like we're talking about the physiological neuroanatomy of the body and the nerves in the body. They just don't all react the same way. And instead of taking it as like, this is my personal failing that I can't sit with this or something. No, it's just literally the way the body is wired. Like it has a different experience, and that's reasonable. So I think it's really important, like you said multiple times, to keep that in mind that the playing field is not level in that
Mm.
regard. And so, for you, a practice that works for somebody else might just have a completely different result and is not at all it's not going to get you to the desired effect that, it would in somebody else. And that's just, you're going to have things that work for you that don't work for somebody else. The fun is that you get to explore for yourself and find out what works for you as well, because, like it is the struggle of like writing inquiries and stuff that are kind of trying to reach everybody, because, like, firsthand, we all have such completely different versions of an inner world. And like I sent you in the email, it's really hard to find something that reaches absolutely everybody in that regard. So yeah, but we're really interested to hear more about it, because I would also, from the guiding, writing meditations and inquiries sort of thing, the more sense I can have of, what other people's experiences are, the more inclusive I can hopefully make them too.
I'll just say one last thing along those lines, Todd, and thank you both of you. Is an example of what's not helpful for someone like me. But there's sometimes. All right. Well, so there was a while where I was very entranced with internal family systems, and I've sort of it's not. I didn't find it ultimately helpful, but I was running into the same issues of aphantasia with trying to translate it, and I found a book called Somatic IFS. And I was like, oh, this is 100% for me.
Yeah.
And it was like had all these sort of meditations in it, but all of them were like, go into your body now. Imagine there's a flame.
Yeah.
Picture a flame burning in
Yeah.
your. So it was like everywhere. Like the instruction was constantly, even a book about somatic thing, it was
still visual
giving
and,
visual or say to yourself, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. No, I'm
Anyway, thank
I'm just
you.
thinking that I'm just thinking that my autism, I can't do guided meditations. You walk on a field and there's a pond, because I need more specifics. Where in the world am I? Because the field would be different if it's like, on the sub-Saharan continent, or it's like if it's like, in Australia, or if it's like, so I need to know, and what season are we in? And I'm getting completely lost in those lack of information. So the meditation is over before I have even located where I am in the world. So those don't work for me at all. I need much more specific for that to work. Whereas what Todd does, I love Todd's guidings, because they're like, tailor-made for me, because it's very much about feeling the body, noticing what is happening, noticing a thought that is arising, so I can completely follow what it is that you talk about. Yeah, absolutely. Mine is just a different flavor of the same thing.
Thank you both.
So nice meeting you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
So nice meeting you in person. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We'll be in touch at some point about putting together a panel too. We're glad you're interested in that.
Yeah, really happy about that. Okay, now it's Caroline. We can't put Caroline on before the video is there.
Camera is on, and
you need to go away and then click back in.
Okay.
There we go. Hello, Caroline.
Hello. Welcome.
Hi, how you doing? Can you see me?
Yeah, we can.
We got you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. So I have like a question, because I don't know, it's very hard to word things now. Like I found, so I think I did a lot of trauma work unknowing like what it was. I basically was like, I can't bear the pain of life. And I found kind of like a CBT process, which like got into, I don't know, all the things. And I got rid of so many beliefs, but it wasn't like an awakening process or anything like that. Very much like a story into the pain. And then I literally was like, I wasn't happy until I found the ugly cry. Like I was like, oh. And then like I had some really profound changes. And then I had like an awakening experience like like a couple years after this, I feel like I had like a dark night of the soul. That's what I was read about. And I was doing this like journaling practice for a couple years because it was so beneficial to me. And I was like, but then at the point I'm like, I don't know if it's trauma anymore. I don't know, because I don't have any of those really deep, as far as I can tell, I don't have those deep recesses. And there's occasionally times where it's like, oh yeah, I can get into something. But now I'm like a bit like, I've lost the ability to journal, because I'm like, as soon as I get to the questioning bit, I'm like, this question falls apart. Like my whole process was like, I kind of transitioned to like the Byron Katie method. So it's like, how do you feel when you believe this thought? I'm like, but that I don't know. There's no feeling. What does this question even mean?
Yeah.
So then like the question doesn't mean anything. And so and so I had a bit of a period of like nihilism where I was like, well, there's no self, there's nothing anyway. So what's this? And that made me feel pretty bad. And so then I was like open to journaling again. And so I'm open to anything, but it's like I can't, it's like I've lost my process for like the emotional stuff. And so now I'm like, I think I need a new process or a new thing to do.
Yeah.
But I find that it's really hard. I feel like I was really connecting to my body through the stories.
Yeah.
And then really listening to what you guys were saying. And it's like so hard, because it's like, I know everything's a thought, but then how do you question things without the thought? And I remember you saying there's the label of anger. And I was like, yeah, so that's like when I can get into stuff, I'm like, that's just a label I'm putting on it. But then I'm like, what am I questioning with? Am I questioning with my mind, or like so like, how do you inquire without thought? So it's just, I'm really struggling with like the story versus like accessing the feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love where you are. I love where you are, because you are at the point that most people, when they come into the awakening curriculum, that they aim to be at.
Oh,
They
okay.
aim to be there where all stories just fall apart. But it's like you have backed yourself into the awakening curriculum, like, it's kind of like bagging yourself in through the door, and now you're just standing and looking at the full thing, going like, what? What I would love for you to do is, first of all, I don't know if you have started by the first fetter, but I can recommend you to do that.
Yeah, okay.
Even though you understand that there is no I, and you completely get that, but there are some things weaved in the first fetter that will help you where you're at right now.
Okay.
And when you come to the second fetter, a lot of things are going to fall into place, because again, it's not so much the learning about your underlying belief and all of that, because it sounds like you already know that. But it's that weaving with the body in it, which you haven't done. And I've done that in the material, that you're not learning anything intellectual without having a body experience with it, which means that people that do the awakening curriculum from the first lesson in the first fetter, they don't end up where you are now, where your body is not a part of it.
So can you repeat that?
Yeah, I absolutely can.
Okay. Yeah.
You have understood. You have.
I need to understand, and is it going to help me understanding things? Because I'm like, brain's not helpful.
Yeah, no, because you can't use the brain, because you understand that whatever you hear, you're creating a little story about, and that story is a lie.
Yes.
You can't use more information. You're done with information.
Yes.
I cannot tell you anything that you don't know. You're done with information.
Yes.
You need to start feeling it.
Yes. Okay.
You need to feel it. And that means that when you have that, but that is just a story, immediately in that moment, I want you to sink into your body. How does that feel?
Yeah. Okay.
Because you can only jump into nihilism if you don't have your body with you. If you have your body with you, you can never end up in nihilism. And that is why it's the body sensations are weaved into the curriculum without being very explicit about it. So you do not end up in nihilism, because you need, whenever you have that, that is just a story, feeling anger. Okay, I'm angry. It's done. I'm not angry anymore because there's no story about it. All fine and dandy. How does that feel? How does that feel? Because any reaction that is happening is something in the body that has been activated. And then the conscious mind and the prefrontal cortex come afterwards and try to justify what just happened in the body with a little story that is attached to it. That has been snipped in you. So those two do not connect anymore, but you still have the body experience.
Yes, I'm not doing the bypassing though. I'm not like, I'm pretty good. I'm like, I'm really very, I'm like, oh, this is a thing that, okay, I'm having this. This is an inconvenient thought. This is bothering me. I have that. I'm like, I got a lot of grace for myself. I passed the phase of nihilism. That was just like when I had my first awakening experience, when I was
Yeah.
like, and I completely lost my ability to journal, which was my whole like crutch to like
Yeah.
cope with life.
Yeah.
So then it's like, what the hell? What do I do now? And then
Yeah.
I just kept bottling up the feelings. And eventually I was like, well, I have to journal because I feel terrible. So I have to
Yeah.
pretend as a person. So I don't have the nihilism anymore. And I am dropping into the body. I think what it is, I think I'm just very I guess maybe lacking confidence with it because it's new. So I'm like, is that, yeah, like maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's, yeah, confidence. And also I feel like I'm not sure what I'm trying to achieve, or like I'm not sure if there's anything.
You
No.
don't achieve. You're back in your mind. You're back
Okay.
in your beautiful mind. I want you to journal with your body. When my kids were young, like from 4 years up, I we had like a game where I asked them to dance a color and to move a sound.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's that. So you start to dissolve. You start to dissolve the very structured idea you have about journaling. Means a bullet point book, a very nice pen, maybe some stickers, and off we go. I would like for you to journal with your body. The feeling that you have right now, how would that be moved? How would your body move to express what you're actually feeling right now? If you cannot use your mind and you cannot put words on it, how would your body move? So right now you have a feeling of frustration. Your movement right now is around your mouth. That is the around your mouth. Then I would like for you to, you just caught yourself doing it around your mouth. Do that more. Have more movement into it. Okay, this is how it feels. Oh yeah, I feel tension in my lower back. Okay, stretch the lower back. Move the lower back. So you implement all of that into your body and
Okay,
see
yeah.
where it takes you.
Okay. So I think I understand. Like, I don't
Dance
know
a
how.
color.
Yeah, okay. I know
Can you
that
give
makes no
us
sense, but I think I get it.
can you give us a specific, because I'm curious, like on something that, because where you had said like you got hung up questioning about something, but then wondering how you question something without a thought in the mind. And so I'm wondering, like, what would be a specific instance of something where that would come up for you?
So, like, I could literally, I think, yeah, okay. So I like wrote this down because I had, so my big thing is always to do with relationships and some kind of love interest. It's always like, it's just my big thing.
Yeah.
It's the big thing. And I've made huge progresses and try. I'm not really trying that much, to be fair, but I got affected by. I got an experience today because I spoke to my ex, and I felt this like lightly. It's not as big as it was, but I was like, I felt this. I felt disappointment, and I was like, okay, I'm happy. I'm like, that's fine. You can feel disappointment, but then I felt the push and pull. I was like, I really want to pull him towards me, or I want to cut him out of my life
Mm.
because I feel like I'm in this limbo space. And so but I can't make him come towards me. And I also don't want to push him away because I know that's just not going to, I know that's made up. Like, I know it's
Mhm.
just these impulses in me. And so then I write it down and I'm like, but I don't know how to well, then the thing that comes up is like, but who is feeling this push and pull? Who is feeling that? And then I'm like, well, I don't know. And then I'm like, who even is he? Well, he's in here. So he's not what you're trying to push away or pull in. So where
You're
is this?
bypassing. I know you hate me saying that, but you're
Is it?
bypassing. You're
Okay,
bypassing.
okay, that's fine. That's
We
good.
we bypass when we don't feel.
Okay,
We bypass because we don't want to feel.
okay.
So there is something happening when you have that feeling. Well, you use the word.
Just now?
Yeah, you use the word when you describe the thing about your ex. Oh, I should have written it down. Do you remember the word?
That I used or she used?
She just used the word.
She used a lot of words.
No, you felt a word, and then you did think if you should pull him in and you don't want to push him away. It was that word.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I should have written it down.
Him away.
Before that, you're in contact with your ex, and then you have a feeling when you're in contact with him.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt disappointment.
Disappointment, that was it.
Yeah, I felt disappointment.
Yeah, so stay with that. Disappointment is just a label.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Yeah.
Disappointment doesn't exist, but there's a feeling in your body that you are sprinting away from.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
like Gita did in the first one, where she feel a hole in her chest and feel this is fear. Instead of sprinting away from it, she goes like, with unconditional acceptance to what is arising right now. This is disappointment that I feel right now. Okay, can I be in a body that feels disappointment? I'm removing the label of disappointment and just noticing, how does that feel to be in a body with disappointment? And now I'm asking you, how does that feel? How does disappointment feel in your body?
I'm trying to, my thoughts are really, because maybe that's bypassing, because I'm like, I can't label it disappointment, so I don't know.
No? No, fine. How do you feel in the body right now? When I say ex-boyfriend and disappointment, what do you feel in your body? Where is that in your body?
Middle of
In
my
your
chest.
chest. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a contraction or a tension?
No.
How does it feel?
Pulsing.
A pulsating feeling.
Yeah.
Can you stay with that? Close your eyes and breathe into that pulsating feeling.
Yeah.
Does it change or what happens?
Yeah, it just gets big. Like huge, like beyond big.
It's taking up more space now when you're allowing it to be. Can you still be in a body with that feeling?
That like it makes no sense. If that I'm
No,
trying.
no, it probably doesn't, which is fine. It's just, how does it feel in your body? It doesn't. Your 5% don't need to understand what we're doing right now. This is for your body. This is for your body to be allowed to be felt.
Yeah.
So how does it feel in your body?
Current. Like I've got a current going around.
And how does that current feel?
Rushed. Like hectic.
Can you breathe and sit with it and just observe the current that is happening? The micro expressions in your face right now, you had a tilt with your head to the left, unless your camera is mirrored, and then you get sadness.
Yeah, I felt exposed.
Yeah. Can you be in the body where you feel exposed? There's vulnerability. Thank you. What feeling do you feel now in the body?
I felt like a quick, like, nope.
Yeah.
Made me feel sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it was a reactive, like, nope.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh,
It's protection. Yeah. It's just protection. There was a time in your life where it makes sense to have that type of protection. But right now, can you allow yourself to be vulnerable just in your company? And just allow the body to feel vulnerable and feel disappointment and feeling exposed. And just allow the body to experience. What feeling do you feel now?
I don't know.
There was a shift in your facial muscles in your. So is it just a feeling of empty, or is it just a feeling of bum in the seat, or?
Fear.
Fear. Thank you. Can you be in a body where you feel fear? What emotion are you feeling now?
Defiance.
Thank you for that. It's fine. It's fine. It's a protection mechanism. It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I do feel defiance.
Yeah. It's okay to feel defiance. There's enough space to also feel defiance. It's okay. So what emotion are you feeling now?
Worry.
Worry. Yeah. Thank you for that. Worry is completely okay. What feeling do you feel now?
Grace.
That's wonderful. Is grace okay?
No.
No, I get that. It's okay. It's okay. What emotion do you feel now? Something just happened very quickly.
Force.
Yeah.
Like insistence.
Yeah. Thank you for that. It's a really good reminder that there might have been bottled up a lot of things that has been done with force, or so just allow to feel that, the full feeling of how that feels. And it's okay. And now there was another shift. What feeling do you feel now?
More open.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Mm.
And just allowing things to be open. Can you be in a body where it's just openness?
My Alexa just started playing music. I love this song.
That's amazing. And what emotion do you feel now? What just happened?
Like sentimental.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay to be sentimental. It's okay to have that feeling in the body that you have right now. It's part of being human. It's okay. What emotion do you feel now?
I just felt very young.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, that just flashed, just really young
Yeah.
and fragile.
Yeah. Again, you don't need to make sense with it with your mind. This is not for the mind right now. This is just for the body to experience and express what is arising in the body. That feeling of being very young has been underneath all the other stuff. So what emotion do you feel now?
It's had like carefree.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you be in a body that feels carefree?
Oof. Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not really.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be scared of being carefree. Remember your breath. You're holding your breath right now. What emotion do you feel now?
Like searching, like I don't know what the word is, but
It's okay.
like attention.
Yeah. You don't need to find a word. As long as you just emphasize what emotion you're feeling right now for you, that is enough. You don't have to tell me or tell anyone. Just put a little magnifying glass and a spotlight on it, and then allow it to be a little bit bigger. So the body is experiencing and expressing, and you become aware of what is there. And that is all that is needed. And it has already shifted. Something else is happening now. What emotion do you feel right now?
With serenity. That was lovely.
Yeah.
That's quite.
Can you be in a body with that serenity?
Uh, well, I was.
Yeah, it's already shifted.
Um, yeah, I think I'm wrestling.
What is the mind? The mind is always trying to make sense of things and describe things and coming up with small stories. And it's just the prefrontal cortex that has that need to be the cleverest one in the room. And it's just not. Something is arising in the body, and sometimes we can't express what it is. There's just an arising. And it feels like something, and we can't put a word to it. It's just something that we feel. And before we are even diving more into it, it's gone, and something else is arising. It's just opening up and saying thank you for whatever is coming, and noticing that whatever is coming, it's okay. It's okay. It's a part of the patchwork. It's fine. So, what emotion do you feel now?
Gratitude.
Can you be in a body where you feel gratitude?
Yeah.
There's another shift. Your mouth just changed a little bit.
I just went deeper somewhere.
Yeah.
Just somewhere.
What was that?
It's just no emotion. Just like a bit of space.
So just floating in that space where the body is experiencing and expressing, and the mind is trying to grasp, but you can just let it grasp if you want to. You don't need to pay any attention to it. It's just what it does. And just keep noticing what emotion you feel right now.
Mm. There's tightness in my chest.
Yeah, thank you. Is it okay to have tightness in your chest? What emotion are you feeling now?
Like there's curiosity. Because I lost feeling in my hands.
Mm.
They're gone.
Your hands are not there anymore?
Not quite.
It's strange, isn't it? That we live our entire lives and believe we have a body, but the moment we start to just allow things to arise, suddenly the body dissolves and it's not there.
Mm. And it's like sensations of where I would put my hands.
Mm.
I don't actually know there's different location. I don't think I can locate it now.
It's constantly shifting, and your hands might not even feel hand shaped.
They don't.
Yeah. It's because you don't have hands. It's just another concept. With your eyes closed, it's completely dissolving. So, what emotion do you feel right now?
Searching.
Mm. That's the frontal lobe trying to make sense of all of this, because it sounds like, you're landing in a place where there's just stillness, simplicity, and contentment. And the frontal lobe goes like, that can't be it. That can't be right. So it's just a searching. It's fine.
I think it was that. It was that was like, it was just is.
Mm.
And I needed to find a label. So I was like, well, what is that label?
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
It's like, what is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it
So,
was like not before that. It's answering the question. I was like,
so just make a deep breath and open your eyes.
HEI. Oh gosh, my hands are back.
So it's exactly that. Just keep going with whatever the body is experiencing and expressing. Whenever you have a thought and you feel, but it's stopping there, and then you start to overanalyze and bypass, I would like for you to backtrack a bit. What is the feeling that you're trying to divert from? Because that feeling of, was it disappointment? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that feeling of disappointment, it's just a label, but it's a label on something that you don't want to feel in the body. So in we go.
Okay.
And that's how you dance a color.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I had more to question, but I don't know. I don't know.
I would like for you to not ask more questions, but have that feeling that you have in your body right now, because there's still a calm in your body and your mind is trying to gear up to where it was before. See if you can allow the mind just to wanting to gear, but the body is where you're at. That is the 95%. That is where you're at. So the mind can go, but. It's fine. It's fine. I love you. I love you. I hear you. And then back into the body again.
Okay. Is that it? Is that all I do?
It's all you do.
Forever.
What else do you want to do?
I will say there are different techniques, for different times or for different people. And so like the question that you had originally had about like asking questions and kind of using the analytical mind to get into it. For some people, especially when they first start out, a lot of people are completely divorced from all of their emotions and experiences, and there's like no a surprising lack of awareness of just even what emotions they're experiencing from moment to moment, or that they're not synonymous with whatever this is, and that this is something that can be categorized and qualified and named, and then also that it's not actually just fear or anger or whatever, but actually there's a biological, physical component to it, and I can feel that separate from the ideas about it. And so in those earlier stages of awareness, it's really important to actually be able to name and label what we're experiencing so that we have some sort of a grasp of what we're talking about. It can be really useful to get kind of an idea of where oh, right, I am not the totality of this experience in this way. I am not angry right now. There is a biological process that's happening in the body that's causing something. Okay, now I can name that. I have a grasp of it. Now I can feel it. Now I can be with it without the stories and the thoughts and all that about he shouldn't have said that and she shouldn't have done that. And now I can just be with it and ride it. So when you get to that point, then the stories become less and less helpful and the labels become less and less helpful. And then it's like, I would say, much like you've been saying, instead of thinking about it as like questioning it, it's more like using observation and feeling. So instead of going into like, oh, what am I disappointed about? And should I be, and using the mind for that, it's like Pernilla was saying, it's just going straight into the body and or just being really observant about what the actual experience of that is without the thoughts trying to create a whole narrative around it or put it into a context of my own personal history and all of that. That has its space, it has its place at certain times in our life that can be really useful. Talk therapy for some people is really good, and having, so there's nothing wrong with that. It just depends on where you are at that point, and if it feels like it's just continuing to keep you locked into that cognition where you're just going through, then I think it's probably not so helpful. And Pernilla is obviously, spot on with coming into the body, being completely into the experience of what is actually here. And then all of the thoughts that you have about, well, I don't exist and he doesn't exist, that's still like mental stuff. In the reality of that experience where you are completely present with what is here, it is true that you don't exist the way you think you do and he doesn't exist the way you think you do, but those thoughts are not even relevant at that point because literally you're not even in a room together, right? Like he does not exist unless he's appearing in the mind.
Yeah.
So that's
and it's also, I also want to add on to that it can be useful to go to the fourth fetter when you have those, because when you have that feeling of disappointment, for example, that can only happen in a space of comparison with something else. What is it that you think could be there so the feeling of disappointment wouldn't be present in the body? That is a fourth fetter thing where we have like this idea of an alternative to what actually is. And the body is really good at helping us with coming root back to here. Okay, I think it's disappointment, but there's no alternative to what is here, which means what it feels like a disappointment is not disappointment. So what is it? What is it? It's a contraction in the chest. It's like nausea. It's tingling sensation in my hands. It's reminding me of autumn. It can be like so many different things that we are diverting with by putting a label or a concept on it. And that is where the fourth fetter is helpful in getting you back into the body, into what is actually arising right now. Because if it's like you say that there's no you and there's no him, there's no disappointment either. Clearly you're feeling something.
That was where I was at. I was like, what is that then? Like,
it's
if that's not the case, then what is it? That's what I was like getting
exactly
stuck.
Take the head off. There's a feeling in the body that needs to be felt. It's the head that is putting the label on that is disappointment.
Yeah.
Away with that. Just allow this to grow and feel and do what we just did, where whatever is arising, you say thank you, because it's brave for that to stick its head up. It's brave for the body to allowing to itself to be felt. So you thank for that happening, and then you are waiting for the next thing. And then, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. You don't need the conscious mind.
It's not even disappointment. It's like, I don't know how to work. So you just said something and I was like, oh God, that's it. It's not that. That's not what's happening. Like,
exactly.
So yeah, okay, I think I'm like searching for my body because I'm like, that's not what it is. Like, what is it? Well, I have to go.
You have to go into the body, and a lot of things, like I said before, a lot of things you feel in the body, when things just fall into place, You don't know with your conscious mind what just happened, but something happened and now everything is in polycolor. Everything is different. And you don't know what just happened because it's not for the conscious mind to understand. It wasn't created. The trauma wasn't created in the conscious mind, so it can't be resolved in the conscious mind. Something happened in the body at some point. We don't know when, or we don't know what, and we don't have to. It's just allowing what is arising to arise, meeting it with love, compassion, and kindness. And in most cases, that's enough. And the body just goes like, oh, then that ligament and tendon can relax and that muscle can start to build and be a little bit stronger. And then your gait is going to change and you're going to walk differently. And you have no idea what happened. And you don't have to. It's just a meat suit that is aligning itself.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to say,
but it might help to also remember that it's like all of that is going on, and at the same time, the mind creates an entire like surface level of story that overlays all of that, and that disappointment can only happen within the context of a narrative.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
right in the moment when you're feeling something that you think of disappointment, there had to be a story element that was existing just before that. So that disappointment happens in like the fictional layer of the story that overlays the actual biological experience in the body, the physiology, all of that. So there has to be
causes the disappointment.
there has to be something going on. Like the disappointment only exists in
And you can put that aside. Like it
the
doesn't
milieu
matter.
of the story. Exactly. And then you're here with just the base level of experience as it currently exists. And then
The
you can interact with that in a very different way.
story creates that disappointment.
Yeah.
And then I go, oh, I recognize that this disappointment's been created, but now it can go because I can just go, okay.
Be
Like,
here.
yeah.
Be
So I don't
here.
need to explore the disappointment because that's where I'm struggling with. I'm like, I feel disappointment, but as a label, so I don't get what to do with that. And I
Because
don't
it's
know what
like
that's like, but it's just been created.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a natural byproduct of the storyline that was going. Like if you think of that whole layer of your life with your ex and all of that stuff as being like this fictional story that's playing out on a TV, there's
Yeah.
a natural progression where when two people interact in a certain way, perhaps disappointment happens, perhaps an argument happens, things like that. There's like a logical fictional storyline that's happening, but below that there's just this raw experience of just things being as they are.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that those things appear on that level, and then underneath it you can suddenly drop down and just be like, huh. It's just
Yeah.
this felt stillness that's here underneath all of that interactivity of stories and narratives and all that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like I think that's it. It's like I didn't know how to like not compartmentalize, but leave it there. Like
Yeah.
it feels like it feels like it's significant. It's disappointment. That is a feeling, but
Yeah.
it's not really. It's actually a
No,
story.
exactly. The important thing is to feel it.
Yeah.
The storyline and all that is happening in the background. Disappointment only pops out because it's significant right now to feel it. Not disappointment, but the feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, I can sit with that. I can sit with that, and it dissolves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not about the story being important.
Yeah.
It's yeah. I can't explain, but like I got it. The message
It's
is
wonderful. That's exactly what we have been pointing to. That when it clicks, you cannot explain what it is. It's just something that clicks.
Yeah, I
And
want to keep going to explain it.
I know, and it's just going to keep digging you further and further down, and exactly.
I got it.
Yep.
It's good.
Love it.
Thank you so much, and thanks
Thank
for
you.
everyone.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Thank
It's
you.
been a pleasure.
Good meeting you.
You too. Thank you.
I need a quick bio break before we
Bio break
I'll be
off
right
we go.
back. Do you want to just wait before we put them on?
Yeah,
screen?
sure.
Okay, I'll be right back.
That's bio break.
Bio break.
For everybody who needs a bio break, now is the time for a bio break.
I'll take one too.
Okay, I'm back. We're back.
Okay.
We're all back.
Okay. All right. So is it
How do you say the name? Q?
Actually, my name is Dean, D-E-A-N.
Oh.
This is ACUDE is the first 5 letters of my email address. So I don't know why that came up.
Hi, Dean.
Dean.
Good to meet you.
Good to have you.
Good to
Hi.
meet you. Thanks for having me. Before I start, I just wanted to ask, so I'm fairly new to this. I wonder if you mentioned at the beginning the POK community and also the Hive Mind Discord.
Yes.
And could you tell me where that is and what that is?
Yes. I will start with the Hive Mind that we have. The Hive Mind is for people that are doing the awakening curriculum and coming to the inquiries that we have and coming to the retreats that we have. Is for people that are actively working with the curriculum. We have created a Hive Mind for them.
Okay.
So we don't have a hierarchy with people that are guides, and some are senior guides, and some are super senior guides and all that. We have a hive mind where everybody are having experiences on the path. There are not anybody who are better or more advanced or than anyone else. We all have experiences that are value to everyone else. So therefore we have the hive mind. So it's not like, for example, with other places where you can have a guide and somebody who's above you and all that. We don't really believe in that. So the Hive Mind you can get access to via, we have now spoken with you, so an email to Todd on unfetteredmindfulness@gmail.com, and then he will send you the link to Discord. And in Discord there is so many different threads. There's different threads for all the different fetters, but there's also a thread for neurodiverse people, and there's a thread for people that are specifically interested in Buddhism, and there's a video share, and there's so many different threads. And it's basically that when you're doing the curriculum, I can recommend you to start with the first fetter, and the first lesson in the first fetter. Start at the beginning and kind of use it like from the beginning. Take it in sequence, all of it, so you have an idea of all the tools in your tool belt. And whenever you have a question, go to the thread in Discord and ask the question in there. And then the Hive Mind is there to help you or guide you and say, I think you should watch this lesson instead, or you should do whatever. So you will be guided by the Hive Mind. So that is with the awakening curriculum. Yeah. POK is a group called Perfectly Okay. And it's a group that originally came from Jeffrey Martin.
From the Finder's Course.
From the Finder's Course that Jeffrey Martin he made. And they made their own group where in the beginning they talked about the Finders. And now they have kind of like, they're not really in the Finders anymore. Instead, they're inviting so many different speakers to speak that are coming and speaking there. And they have a group and a meeting
it's like
basically every single day at every hour of the day. And it's about a plethora of things. It's not only the awakening curriculum, it's also about crystal healing, and it's like everything.
But they cover lots of things.
They cover a lot. They had Byron Katie has been speaking, and so there's like so many different that are speakers there, and they have a newsletter that's coming out every month where you can see the full program for the entire month of all the things that are going on. And they have an archive of recorded things, so you can go back in the archive. It's an amazing community that I can warmly recommend. You can come to the talk we have on Sunday by sending an email to Patty Levine. The email address should be in the chat if you take a look there.
Okay. And this chat here?
Yeah, it should be here.
Leela
posted it earlier, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, my question, actually, you've been answering my question. I came here with a question, but you've been answering with every person, and especially with Carolyn this last time. But I'll ask the question anyway, because maybe it's worth even elaborating more. And that is, so I started, listening to your videos, And, one of the themes that you seem to keep mentioning is this idea of if you get a feeling, just being with it instead of like thinking it away, which I guess is what you call bypassing.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes it is. Yeah, sometimes it is.
Just be with it. And I guess my question was, and I think I have a glimpse of it after, your conversation with Carolyn, but it's like, because you say, well, that's the goal is, like staying with it. And I guess my question was, well, if you stay with it, what then? What does that lead to? What is the point of it? I mean, I know, you always have to be careful about this leading to that and having a goal. And but I do kind of resonate with that because I'm an acupuncturist, which is where the acu comes from in my name. And one of the things I do is, with patients who come with phobias or fears, or especially unresolved grief. Maybe you're familiar with EFT, emotional freedom technique, the tapping thing. And it's, along the same lines. You just focus people on, that feeling and, the more, and sort of talk them through it like you did very much like you did with Carolyn. And in that case, very often the pain, that a certain memory evokes, if you concentrate on it and do the tapping, and I don't even know if the tapping is really necessary, but, it relieves it. And I'm just wondering, okay, so how is that relevant to this work?
It's really funny you said, because I was supposed to have made a video yesterday, and then I made a video about something else, but I was supposed to make a video yesterday about what's the point of it. I mean, what's the point of dealing with trauma and feeling into the body, and what's the point of it? I mean, isn't it enough that we just know and work with and seeing that there is no separate self, and that's enough? Because when you understand that, then, like Carolyn said, that everything just falls away. There's nothing else. And it's partly true. It's true for the 5% that is a conscious mind. But for the 95% where all trauma is stored, it's clearly not true. Because we still see people that are awake, where they're aware that there is no separate self, but they can still get startled if they hear a gunshot, or they can still get concerned or feeling fear if somebody's arguing. Like Gitte was talking about earlier, when her coworker is yelling and shouting, she feels fear in her body. She knows there's no separate self. I mean, she's one of our supporters. She knows that there's no separate self, but her body is still reacting. And as long as we have a reaction or an activation when something is happening, there is space to look into. There's a reason to look into it. Because if we don't look into it, that is going to be our driving force. We're going to try to defend or maintain or push away why I shouldn't look into fear, because there's no separate self. So I don't need to feel fear. I don't need to dive into it. It's just making matters worse if I do that, because there's no separate self. But if the body feels it, you're bypassing what is happening. And we're not saying that you should make it into more, because you can't if you're not adding any thoughts to it. What we're saying is stay with that. Instead of being so quick with getting out of the door and not wanting to feel and diverting in all the different ways, can you be in a body where fear is arising? Because there is no such thing as fear. There's a contraction in the body, there's an activating of the nervous system, there's release of different hormones that you either fight, flight, freeze, or please your way out of it. Those were conditioned long, long, long ago. but it's still a reaction. It's a bit like if you get a dog from the shelter and the dog has been mistreated its entire life. It doesn't help that you say, but you're fine now, little doggy. You're fine now. It's still shy to be petted. It's still eating all the food right away because it's afraid somebody else is going to take it. All of that is still a part of it, even though that it's very much aware that it's in a loving family right now, everything is fine. So treat yourself like you would treat a shelter dog. You know, allow it to feel what it feels. That when it's shaking and getting nervous, you take it up and you pet it and you calm it. Do that with you. And the thing is that when the trauma initially was created, we didn't have the intellectual capacity or emotional capacity or psychological maturity to take ourselves up and caress us because we were kids. Much of it was pre-verbal. So because we didn't do it then, it has been with us all our lives. And we're just trying to avoid feeling that again. But the feeling is not that bad. It's just a feeling. And when you remove the label, it's something that you can be with. And like you saw with Carolyn, it's something that is so fleeting. It's arising, it's taking up everything, but she's allowing it to take up everything. And suddenly it's just gone. And now it's something else. So you just move with that. So we're doing it to answer the question, very, very long. To answer the question is that when you allow for things to be as they are, and you're not trying to change it in any way, you're setting you free and you're setting other people free, and you're in a world where nothing needs to change and nothing needs to happen. Because whatever is arising, it's okay. When I feel fear, it's okay. I can be in a body that feels fear. I'm meeting myself with love. When you feel fear, it's okay, Dean. I can take your hand. I can sit with you while you feel fear. I can be with you while you feel fear. You don't need to change. Like we started by saying, there's no taboo here. You can talk about anything you need to talk about because we are okay with those parts in ourselves, which means that we can create a space where you can be okay with the same thing in your space. And that's why we do it. That's why we look into it. And that's why we create space to it.
All right. Well, thank you. And could you just explain when you talk about bypassing, could you like with Carolyn, you said it's something, Carolyn, you're bypassing.
Yeah.
Could you just explain what you mean by that? I'm not exactly clear.
It's when I see with Carolyn, it was very, very visible. She's very open, so she's very easy to read and see what is arising on the inside, which is just making her empathic and lovely to be with, because it's like an open book. So it's just wonderful. But what I noticed was that she talked about something, and immediately she had a contraction in her body, which means that her nervous system was reacting to whatever thought was coming up. And to avoid that contraction, not having that contraction anymore, her mind started to create a story, and the body relaxed right away because she was no longer feeling it. So when we bypass, it's because there is something that is arising in the body that is so uncomfortable that I cannot be with it. So now I'm going to talk about Janice. Did you hear what she said? Because I'm uncomfortable in my body. So now I'm going to blame, shame, complain out there about other people. So I don't have to feel me. That is a bypassing. Whenever we point fingers at other people and say, oh, Todd, he's always, da. Todd is nothing. Todd is Todd. Pernilla have an issue with the feeling that she's having in her body and is pointing fingers. And Todd needs to stop doing that because I don't like how I feel. That's got nothing to do with Todd. I'm bypassing from what I'm feeling in my body by telling him to be different. So I don't have to feel what I feel. That is bypassing.
So if I start telling myself, well, that's really wrong. Doesn't that person know any better?
Yeah. You're bypassing.
They really shouldn't. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's bypassing because you and the fifth fetter is really working a lot with that.
Yeah.
The fifth fetter is rough because when you're doing the fifth fetter, there is no longer anywhere to escape to. You become very, very quiet when you realize that everything you say about other people is your opinion about you.
Okay. And so just last night, actually, I started the curriculum and I just got to the first video. And is there the things that we've been talking about, this POK community, the hive mind, any particular advice about when to go there or
My
when to
recommendation would
incorporate
be that
those?
start with the first lesson in the first fetter. Have a notebook and make notes about the things that you hear, that you think about, that is evoking something in you. And when you get back, when you have done the I would say the five first fetters, so the lower five as we call them, when you have done them, then see if you need another round. And that is when your notebook is useful, because what you thought was important and of really, provoking or something like that, now it doesn't have any meat on it when you come back to it, because it will have resolved. The world will be different when you have done the lower fives. So that's why I'm really always suggesting people to make notes, journaling about what is happening, because it's so useful for you to keep updating yourself and noticing the updates that are happening without your knowledge.
Okay. All right.
And if you have any questions, write in the hive mind.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. It's really you've been answering the question that I came in with, far more thoroughly than I than I could have hoped. So thank you.
I'm so happy.
Really helpful.
So happy.
It's good meeting you.
Yeah, really good meeting
Good to have you.
Good to have you,
Thank you.
Hedgie.
Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Hello.
Hello. It's great to
Hi.
meet you both. Can you hear me?
Likewise.
Yes,
Yep,
yes,
we can
yes.
hear you. Likewise.
Yeah, good to have you.
Thank you. It's funny because my question is so related to everything that I'm talking about the whole time. It feels like there's just this thread, very much in the second fetter trauma release kind of space. So this whole thing about feeling your feelings in your body, or feeling the sensations in your body, and then kind of watching them mutate or transform into different feelings, that is not the experience that I have. Well, yes, they transform, but they don't dissipate ever. They just, when I sit and put attention on it, it just grows. Kind of like Marcus with the itch. It just gets bigger and bigger. And then mind starts spinning with it. And I'll drop the mind and I'll go back into the body, but the mind just like keeps coming up, keeps coming up. It gets like more and more insistent and more loud until it like becomes this giant thing. And then it doesn't matter how long I sit there. It just sticks. It just sticks in there. And then the only way to pass through it is to discharge it in some way, to like act it out. Like,
yes.
Like sometimes it starts as fear, or maybe it starts as guilt, and then it transmutes into anger toward myself. And then I have to like scream or like get angry at somebody or myself, and then it will discharge and dissipate. But I never have the experience of just like feeling it and letting it do its thing, and then it goes. And I also have like done a lot of EMDR and IFS, and as far as I can tell, it's all there still. It just doesn't, it just stays in there. And I try. And maybe that's the problem, is that I go in with an intention to fix. I also wonder if like there's some judgment going on about I shouldn't be having this feeling that's like keeping it stuck. But I'm just really not sure. And it makes me honestly kind of scared to just sit and feel my feelings, because I feel like that just makes it worse and bigger. And then I get really wrapped up.
I completely understand you. There are so many things in what you're saying. What I think is missing from your practice, it's the embodiment. I would like for you to start to stomp. That instead of you just sitting with the feeling and sitting with the feeling, stand on the floor, put on some music. Todd has made amazing percussion. I don't know if we still have Leela here. Leela, if you're still here, could you put the link for the percussion track in the comment section? It's one that we use for the embodiment workshops that we have, because it's very much about allowing the body to stomp and shake and scream. It's a bit like TRE, but full body. So instead of TRE is when you it's a type of body therapy where you put your muscles in a position where they start to shake, and then you just stay with that shake, and then a lot of emotions are released by that. But what the way that I'm educated as a body therapist is more with allowing the different developmental ages to be expressed. And if you, for example, have and I won't say issue, I'm lacking words in that. If you have a tendency that whenever something is arising, that you kind of like divert with anger or with fight or with, you're the go-getter, the one that is getting things done, and that is your survival mechanism, then normally the things that has happened is between the age of 3. And that is when we need to stomp to, I'm standing here. So it's very much about standing with a hip width between your feet, spreading your toes out so you become as wide as you can, and you stomp one foot and you stomp the other foot, and then you start to pump into the ground, kind of like making roots into the ground. And by that you take all the buildup that can't be in the body, because the body is too small for all of those emotions, and you kind of like share it with the earth into the ground, and that gives you a feeling of calm that other people get by just sitting and meditating. But if you have built up stuff, the body needs to express it, and then you can sit down. We have lots of different exercises. I can warmly recommend you to purchase the mind-body integration workshop that we had. It's a full week, and it is for purchase on our homepage. You will have so much material there that is helping you to taking all that from your mind and into the body. Like I said that before, I think it was to Caroline, that it's not, you don't need more things, you don't need more knowledge. It's not the lack of knowledge that is giving you the issues. It's the feeling it. It's the integrating it into your body.
Interesting.
That was
Okay.
one thing.
I will try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious because I've listened to the stuff on the toxic starting point. And can you clarify, does everybody have like their kind of one toxic starting point that is kind of their thing, or everybody has all of them?
We have all of them. We have all of them. But there's none of us that don't have all of them. It's just that it's more like a spectrum. So it's more like you have more in one situation, that when you're with authorities, you become the people pleaser. And when you are with, people under you in the hierarchy, you become the bully. So it's more about where you are in it, and noticing yourself where you are at. What is it right now that makes you believe that there is a difference between you and the police officer, or you and an employee that you have? What is it that makes? So it's just about being present in the moment and noticing what is happening right now that makes you believe that things are in a certain way when they're not.
Okay.
But nothing is ever in a certain way, right? Because if there are two people there, that episode is perceived 2 different ways. So there's not one way that things are. So that's why it's so important to become curious to, why do you think things are in this particular way right now when it's not?
Right, because everybody's in their own bubble of reality. And so they're always right in their own bubble.
Yes, exactly.
So
Something else.
back to
What about
the question around the release part. So what happens to me is like I'll be triggered in some kind of way, and then, I have a feeling, and then I have a thought, and then I drop the thought and I focus. And is it best to like really just do the trauma release and focus on the feeling and like really devote myself to doing that for some period of time if I can? Or is it also good, because you mentioned putting some amount of attention on the whole space?
That was it. It was the puppy. It was the red puppy. It's so complicated when we have when we have had a lot today. You heady guys that have everything up in the head, and you're trying to understand with your intellect, and you are trying to make a little journal or bullet points on what to do so I can do the right thing in the right sequence. It's really difficult because it's different every single time. Sometimes you need to stomp it away, other times you need to sit with it. The common denominator for everything, it's unconditional acceptance of whatever is arising. And if you struggle with the unconditional acceptance to whatever is arising, then feel into that. Then have that as the focus.
Have that as the focus is like, am I really actually accepting this? Because my intuition is that I'm not. There's some hidden judgment in there.
Yeah, and it's not even like the question of whether you are, it's feeling the resistance, right? Because if you're not, it's not just a lack of something. That's more conceptual. It's what is actually here. So if you were having a lack of what we would say like a lack of acceptance, it really means that there's an act of resistance. Right. So feel into what it feels like to actively resist what is here in this moment. And then it's immediately less conceptual and much more in the body, because now it feels like, okay, I can feel I'm physically tensing up in response to the situation being the way that it is. I can feel that act of revulsion towards it. Okay, well now feel that act of not wanting as far as that goes. And then we can depending on, which practices you're kind of engaged in, whether you want to go at it from the fifth fetter aversion side of practice, or whether it's more just getting used to the feeling of feeling guilty or fearful or whatever it is, or anything that, no matter what's showing up, it's really just being absolutely present with what's here so that you can feel equanimous no matter what is showing up. It doesn't work if the whole world has to be organized in the perfect way to fit my desires for me to feel okay with it. We're never going to be happy that way. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So really it's that coming into whatever is here. And we have, like you were bringing up that question, we have different ways to work with it, depending on, really the day and the situation. Mm-hmm. So there are some cases where when you're feeling things in the body that are super, super intense, you want to see if you can like absolutely meld with them. It's like we tend to originally start out where when I feel something in the body, I'm usually up here somewhere in my head, and the sensation that I'm actively not wanting is somewhere located usually in the chest, the belly, someplace else. And so it's like me up here versus it down there. And I'm aware of it, but it's not really me. It's not really a synonymous experience. There's a duality built in. And so what we're doing, one way of doing it is to basically take that, kind of heal the separation between what seems to be up here and what seems to be down there, and just feel it so intently that it no longer seems like I am up here observing it, but there is just a oneness with the totality of that physical sensation. And of course, we can't do that if we're maintaining any stories about it or thoughts about it, because that immediately ejects us back up into the brain, back up into the mind. So it's that complete full experience of just buzzing with whatever that tension was or whatever the sensation was down there. So that's one thing we can do. If for whatever reason that doesn't work for you, if it's just way too much, way too strong, way too close, way too whatever, we also have the opposite where instead we become more attuned with the kind of open present awareness, which is also part of the totality of our experience at any moment. So just as much as like, you know, Caroline and Marcus were saying when they're with with the sensation, whether it's the itch or, you know, the pulsing in the chest, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It seems to take up all the space. It's really happening in one location of experience, but we're putting a lot of attention on it, which makes it seem conversely much bigger. We also have the option of recognizing all the things that aren't that. And so then we can check into the periphery. We can check into the feelings and the sensations in the arms and the limbs and around the felt sense of the body. And then we get that feeling of huge spaciousness. And that still stays there, but it just gets brought down to scale. It's like, oh, yeah, that wasn't the totality of experience that was there. We still feel it. We don't bypass from it, but we're aware that that is not the totality of the experience. So that's another viable option to use. It's like, I think of what we do as really building up a toolkit, and it's just having the wisdom about which tool to use at any one time, which is what gives us the resilience of being our own practitioners, where we're not bound to somebody else, you know, constantly checking in and saying, well, what to do next. We want to have that self reliance. You know, the Buddha said, you know, be a light unto yourself. So really what we're doing is like building up what tools work for you and then learning that wisdom of when to employ which one.
Yes, I love that because that is exactly what I was asking about. So I've had phobias, lots of fear-based stuff. And I had a phobia of flying for a long time. And I tried the method where I just went into my body and felt the fear. And that was interesting. I learned a lot about how it felt, but it just stayed. It was when I started noticing the dimmed lights in the cabin and the very pleasant temperature and just feeling my butt on the seat, that started moving out. And I don't feel like I have that anymore. So like bringing that periphery in allowed me maybe to feel it without it being so big, and it kind of was able to pass through.
Yeah, exactly. Todd has written a really good poetry collection, which is not poetry, but where and it's lots of writings that he has done over 30 years that he's collected into a book, because Todd had a lot of anxiety and suicidal ideation and depression and agoraphobia and all of that. And he has throughout the years written about it. So last year he collected a lot of it and wrote it into a book, which the entire awakening process is also in there, but it's mixed in together. And there's one of the poems that I love so much where he describes how anxiety is just taking up everything. It's the entire room that's red. The sofa is red, the wall is red, everything is red, the carpet, the walls, everything is just red. And now it feels like he is like floating over and seeing a huge field. And in my mind, there's like, you know, with mountains over there, and there's like a little stream, and there's like, so it's like just open spaciousness. And when he looks down in the field, there's one red poppy flower standing there.
That's what you guys were talking about, the red poppy.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's exactly that noticing that what feels like what Todd was describing, it feels like it's taking up everything. So start to notice what is on the other side of it. And then it just shrinks in and just becomes this little small red poppy flower in a huge vastness of the universe.
Amazing. Last thing I'll say is, I think I read one of your poems in the curriculum, maybe, because there was a poem in the first Fetter.
I did put a few in there, yeah.
And it was so good. I felt like it was so descriptive of experiences that I've had. And also I just went through LU, and I mentioned this to Todd in the email, and my guide Stacy was getting quite frustrated with me because she was like, you've already seen through the self and you're just doubting and you need to so somehow I heard about Todd, and I went back and found his
My
thing and
friend.
read it. And I was like, it helped me like work through some of the stuff that I was
Yeah, that is so useful.
I'm really happy about
I
that.
love the book. I mean, you can get the book on Amazon, but also on our homepage under poetries. There's so many of the poems that are in there, and there's also a description of which poems you can use for different things. You know, because the theme in the poems are about different things. So I can warmly recommend it. Yeah.
But I'm glad that you found me or through LU and or found the whole thing and found my thread helpful on that, because yeah, we a lot of us have been there, and it was such a struggle for so long of just having that mind-based it was like no matter what I was experiencing, the mind could create a contrary argument as to why that couldn't be true. That can't be that can't be right. And it was just so locked into my entire life was all trying to figure out why things were the way they were and to have some sort of a logical cerebral explanation for everything. And eventually I found that really had to fall away for it to really click. And it's still, I mean, obviously we can still use the intellect, and it's a great tool to have, but it can't be the only way that we engage with yeah, exactly, with life. It's just there are other options.
Yeah.
You seemed kind of doubtful still at the end, or like you were like, okay, and then you kind of graduated. Was it later that you really had like the big eye-opening piece, or?
Well, it was a combination, because I had stuff before that, and then it was really the way that some of the ways that we were working through it, that it was that the mind was just kept saying, yeah, but, and then there were absolutely, I mean, I had so many different experiences after that, but it was like, we often say that you either have some people who have never come to the people who have really big explosive experiences usually kind of are new to all of this. It's like, you hear where somebody will accidentally watch a YouTube video and then they just have this like spontaneous, oh my God. But for most of us, I mean, I had been, practicing for like 20 years. And so there were no new surprises there to be found, really. It was this very gradual shift, and kind of slow. And then there were some big experiences or bigger experiences in there, but it wasn't like one definitive pop. And I think that was one of my sticking points, was that I heard stories from people that were saying, oh, but you have to have this specific experience for it to be that. And it's like, but I don't think I've had that experience, but I can't tell if I've had that experience because I don't know whether what I'm experiencing is the same as their experience. So then you get into that whole comparison and expectation deal, which is just a nightmare. Because there's no way to get out of that, because bubble of reality, you can only experience your experience. And you don't know when somebody describes something, whether what they're describing is the same as your experience or not. And as we talked about with Marcus, everybody is different. All of our wirings are different. So your background in history is going to create a different set of awakening experiences than somebody else. And it's just to be expected. But I was not aware of that at the time. And so a lot of it was more because there had been so many shifts, and there were so many shifts after then, but a lot of it was really the clearing out of those sticking points of really conceptualization of what it even meant to have awakening experiences, what awakening even meant. Like all of that had to be challenged gradually, bit by bit. Because I will say, like when I was going through LU, my view of what awakening is completely different from what it is now. There has been such a profound change in even the thoughts about it, and the way that I anticipated people on the other side would be and what it would be like, and all of that has completely changed. So I had so much bound into 20 years of reading Buddhist sutras and stuff like that, that was like setting me up for these ideals of what it should look like and be like. And of course, there were these very, grandiose, overly mythologized, overly florid versions of that the kind of awakened experience. There were wonderful metaphors, but I was taking everything very literally. And it has taken time to really become positively disillusioned in a way. If that makes sense. I think
Yeah, no, that is totally, I feel very, very resonating with that. All of
excellent.
that.
Yeah. So I'm happy. I'm happy that you were able to get some benefit out of reading that too.
Well,
Yeah.
I look forward to joining these calls in the future, and I'm going to keep working through the curriculum. I'll cede the floor for other people who have been waiting. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
It was a
much.
pleasure
So good
meeting you.
meeting you.
Yeah, really,
So
really
good
good.
meeting you.
We'll see you soon. Bye. All right, last one for today. We got John. Right. If you can turn on your camera, we can't add you. I can't spotlight you until you turn your camera on, John.
I have to turn my light on.
There we go. No, you're fine.
It's fine.
Okay.
There you go. The camera
Yeah, 'cause
just has
it's
to be
dark
on
here.
for it to let me spotlight.
You're welcome to turn the light on if you want to. We didn't mean that
Okay. Yeah, I will do. Yeah. Go ahead. Well, still not brilliant.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Good to meet you face to face. We've written back and forth a bit.
Yeah. I wrote to you about I had the problem with being put on the meds and the lorazepam and things like that. So that was my prime. So it's hard to know sometimes when the meds are doing the work or whether I'm doing the work. Like feeling into the sensations. It's easy to obviously this might not be right or wrong, but to take a calming pill, shall we say, and then feel into the sensations. But that wouldn't be actually.
No, but for some of us, for some people, that is the way that it has to be. I've worked a lot with, I'm a naturopathic doctor, and I have worked a lot with people with anxiety and depression. And for some of them, we could only have conversations if they were on the meds, because otherwise it was biochemically too unstable for them to even be in the world. So if you need to take your meds and then you can feel, okay, this gives me space so I can actually start to look into these things, then definitely do that. There's nothing, you're not doing anything wrong with that, and it counts just as much as if you're not on your meds. In many ways, it might even count more, because you are having more insights, because you have downregulated your nervous system. So now you're more receptive to see things as they actually are and not be seduced by what your body is, in fear or in, concern or about. We can very easily be swept away when the entire biochemistry is telling us that we need to be careful, or we need to be alert, or we need to be, then we are alert because the entire body is telling you. So if you can downregulate your nervous system a little bit and then do the practice, it might actually be beneficial for you. So please don't judge yourself for being on the meds. It's fine.
It's like I said to Marcus.
Sorry. I lost track. It's because eventually, it's because I've been put on this for a long time. And, obviously, I want to come off, but you have to taper.
Why do you want to come off? I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm just
Yeah, well,
curious.
that's the question, you know. You know, people I've heard from, you know, I've taken their word on, is that being on the meds for such a long time makes things worse, and because they have such a shelf life, such as, and so I don't know if I've made that enough a problem, really. You know.
Yeah.
You know,
I
that's
think,
what the mind does.
yeah, exactly. I think if you instead notice how is it to be John on the meds, and notice how does it feel to be you? Do you have space enough just to stay with it without doing other types of diversion? Then that is good. You know, you don't need to change that. You don't need to rock that boat. If things work, then there's no need to rock the boat. It's like I hear a lot of people with ADHD that do not want to be on the medication, but they only function on Ritalin, but they don't want to be on it. It's important to question why, because if you work, if it function, if you get into a baseline by being on the meds, it makes no sense why you don't want to do that.
Well, yeah, but that's the problem. After a period of time, they only last for a few hours. So, like, the next instinct is, all right, I've got to take meds again. I've got to take the meds, and I've got to take. What the hell is going on? You know, I don't want to fight anything.
I understand.
Literally.
Yeah.
Any feeling that comes up in the body, any thought, I'm asking myself, why would I do this? This has ruled my life. So what's the point of fighting any of this? And how can I reach this point of acceptance where I'm not just fighting day in, day out?
You start by accepting what is here right now.
Right now.
Whether you're on meds or not on meds, whether you are self-medicating or whatever you're doing, whatever is here right now, whenever you catch yourself in it, whatever is arising right now, can you see that this is okay? If you remove all judgment, whatever is here right now, it can only be okay. Because it's thoughts and judgment about it that makes it not okay. What happens to a thought when you don't think it? You know?
Exactly.
So whatever is arising, whatever is here right now, however you feel in your body right now, it's okay. All the thoughts you have about self-judgment, about you should have done differently previously in your life, that you shouldn't have done this and you shouldn't have done that, stop it. Just stop it. Right now, in this moment, what is actually present? You are there. We are here. And that's it. There's nothing else. So start to notice what is actually present right now. What do I actually feel under my feet when I'm standing and feeling the floor? Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that can never be anything but okay. It's completely okay.
It's only when you add the thought, you know, this isn't okay. If you leave the thoughts alone and feel, as Todd always points to, the direct sensation.
Yeah.
Then right now, everything that is here, it's okay. It's only a thought that is telling you that it's not okay. If you're at the dentist and having a root canal, you're only suffering if you imagine something else could happen. But you're at the dentist having a root canal, there's nothing else that could happen. It's the only thing that's there. So it can only be okay.
The only other thing I would say at this moment, because I don't know this internet, it just keeps flying, is that I've been looking at Ho'oponopono for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, it's wonderful.
And I've been using that.
Yeah, wonderful.
For the last couple of weeks. And as I do it, as these feelings arise and thoughts arise, I'm sorry, I love you.
Yeah.
Please forgive
Please
me.
forgive me. Thank you. Yeah.
But I can use that in everything.
Yes.
It's not just about me.
No.
It's about all the things that I have rejected inside of me for all my life. So whatever arises, be it a thought about somebody I don't like or family rejection, I'm sorry, I love you.
Yeah.
If it's
Please forgive
pain,
me.
I'm sorry, I love you.
Yeah.
If it's anything that arises, I'm sorry, I love you. You're welcome here.
Yeah.
I
love that. It's a huge healing practice, Ho'oponopono. So I can warmly recommend you just to continue that. And every time you get a thought that is judgmental or that is telling you that you're not okay, do the Ho'oponopono right away and just feel how it's healing the moment and reminding you that everything is okay.
Yeah.
Everything is okay.
And I'm sorry. Sorry for judging.
Yeah.
Sorry for judging this. Sorry for judging that. The only one who's been judging has been me.
Yeah.
No one else.
Yeah.
Because it's not people outside. If I think it's people outside of me, I'll continue for the rest of my life blaming the whole wide world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing.
So remember, I also want you to focus on the forgiveness that you need to forgive yourself for things you have done and for things you haven't done, for thoughts you have and for thoughts you don't have. Forgive yourself for it. It's, and it gets you back to that point where it's okay.
Yeah, and that's when the emotions and the fears start to come up, and
of course,
start to feel it,
Yeah, and then like we talked with Caroline about just before, then you can go into it and do what I just did with her, where you just allow it to arise and allow it to be there. Can you be in a body where this is arising?
Yeah, I keep hearing always. Yeah. That can you? So, I just now before I came on to actually talk, the fear was there, and he's there, and it was my mind was saying, take a tablet, right?
Yeah.
Now I don't argue that, but I thought no. I took a couple of that. No, I'm just gonna feel this.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna feel this, because if I keep running from it and keep running, I'm gonna run forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tablet is only supposed to get you up to that point where you can actually do the practice. It's not supposed to be, a buffer. It's not supposed to divert your attention. It's just supposed to be. It's like training wheels on a children's bike. The tablet
I've had
is
these
supposed
training
to.
wheels on for such a long time, and I began to get angry, because the thing for me was that I looked and I thought, and I looked at the mental health system, and all I saw was people were lying to me in that mental health system and just throwing tablets at me. And I kept saying to them, why you keep throwing these tablets at me? They've never worked in my whole life. And they would just ignore me.
So
and now then I'd get angry.
Yeah, but
then I thought, I've got to stop this anger as well.
Because you're angry at a system. It's not helping. And the anger is only arising in you, and you're not resolving anything. You're not resolving anything. So getting back to that compassion, this is an internal thing. The psychiatrists and the doctors are throwing medicine after you because they don't know what else to do. It's an inside job. There's not much they can do. So it's like if you have like issues with your television and you call the plumber is going to look and go like, well, I can fix your sink. And you're going to go, wait, it's the television. Yeah, I can still fix your sink. It's the wrong tool for the job. What you're talking about is an internal job. It's an inside job, and the doctors can't help you with that. A system can't help you with that.
So that's why I turn to the Ho'oponopono.
Yeah.
Because I can see it all coming up in the Ho'oponopono, every different aspect. And then I look at that aspect and that aspect and that, and I'm sorry, I'm like, please forgive me for everything. That is arising. You know?
And then also use it on the system. And on whatever big system that is out there that is sending plumbers out to fix the TV. I mean, I'm so sorry. I mean, poor. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. And then also using, as Todd, his meditations. But I'm still a bit confused. This probably be about giving it space. You know, because sometimes I can give it space. Sometimes it's
and so is it anxiety that is your primary
since childhood, obviously, coming from that violent background. And so my parents, I can see at some level they were doing the best they could given where they came from and their parents and so on and so forth. So hold on, they were doing their best. You know, even my poor dad, he died recently, he was doing his best.
But it still has created, it still has created. And that needs space and compassion. And that is when we say holding space, it's exactly for that. Do you think?
So when anxiety comes up for you now, what is it like, right? Like right now we're using the label anxiety, which has, hundreds, thousands of different ways.
Fear. I call it fear, of a big black hole and disappearing or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm curious, like how that actually manifests for you. Is there a specific? Because for some of us, it's like anxiety about a specific event occurring or something. Is yours more sort of vague and ambiguous? What is your?
Without going into a huge story. Childhood it arose, became worse when I was 14. That's when it wasn't acknowledged. That's when shortly later they started putting me on over 30 years these meds. And of course then I became dependent. I've told you that already. So I'm just going around in a circle. But it was this fear of disappearing into a black hole and not coming back from that. But that's thought.
Yeah. So what's the actuality of anxiety when it shows up on a daily basis?
Terrifying. Yeah. I don't know.
Is it, well, because
like it's here, mostly here. Yeah.
And is it like in the chest? Like
chest physically? And the throat. Yeah. And of course it's caused a lot of stomach problems as well.
Yeah. Well, I know you said like before you came on camera, you got like a flush of it again. So is it situationally dependent?
It's that feeling, it's an insecurity. And it kept me housebound. And then I got this place and I thought, yeah, of course, when I get this little place, I'll be safe. But and then I realized, no, you're just getting smaller.
That's what it does.
Yeah. So I know that I took the drugs this morning, but I went out. You know.
So what do you experience? So you have agoraphobia.
Yeah.
So what I used to have that too. So I understand.
Yeah.
I had years of that. And I know exactly. I remember the safe spaces in the world getting smaller and smaller and closer, and everything, to where I was still having panic attacks in the house. I mean, it's like no matter how much we limit ourselves, ultimately we will never feel safe, because it's really not the outside world that is keeping us in that state of anxiety, right? It is a self-generated feeling of
Yes.
fear or anxiety. And so it doesn't matter how small of a house or how many alarm systems we have or anything else, it's coming from the inside. So what is your experience before, if you didn't have a tablet and you were about to walk outside of the house, are there thoughts that are engaging with it? Is it a purely biological? What is
It's
going on?
that. Yeah, the thought is the world is bigger and better than, stronger. Everyone else is bigger, better, stronger than I am.
So there's that fear of like mortal danger.
Yeah.
Just existing.
Yeah.
Do you have a good sense when that happens, when you first go to open the door, think about opening the door, and you have that thought about everybody being stronger, bigger, more imposing, that you're in danger? Do you have a sense in that moment of what the body feels like? Or are you completely in the head at that point?
It's strange because I can also be here and thinking that it's too dangerous, and then I'll say to myself, but I ain't staying on this bed.
Yeah.
I ain't staying here. I'm going out anyway.
And then what happens?
Well, sometimes I go out, maybe I've taken the meds or whatever, but I'll go out, and because of, what's the Buddhist word? When everything's changing.
The impermanence?
Impermanence.
Yeah.
And then I'll get on a bus. And I'll go and I'll look around, and I'm going, hold on, things are changing. Each time I do something different, it's changing.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So that's what I did today.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I think it's important to note, and this is one where you do have to kind of figure out for you from moment to moment, like I was just saying with fear, what that in sometimes an issue with anxiety is that it tends to make us very internally self-aware, right? The region of the brain which deals with interoception can be really activated. So it gives us this sense where we're super hyper aware that all of a sudden my heart is thundering and it's getting really loud and I can't breathe and it's tight.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all of that happens. It's because we have this basically the insula is overactive, and we get this like hyper awareness of what's going on in the body. So the problem is, if we feel into that and become very aware of that, it's exacerbating the situation. We're taking something which is already hyper aware and we're making it even more hyper aware.
Yeah.
So when that's the case, that's when, like we were just saying, it's better to actually go up to the periphery to find either object. What I used to find was very helpful was to actually like use my eyes to trace objects in the room, to name colors in the room, to name objects, things like that, because you're intentionally getting out of the body and going out. It's important to still feel what's happening, but we want to like, we keep saying kind of level the playing field. Because right now the body is responding in a way where it's hypersensitive to the changes in the body. And then those thoughts are making so much more out of that hypersensitivity. So now all of those sensations, which are, for some people, they wouldn't be noticed at all, now are not only noticed, but they're made they're believed as being something like a harbinger of danger. Because I'm feeling this, it means that there must be danger out there, right? I'm believing that. Or like I used to have, I'm feeling my heart racing. I must be about to have a heart attack. It was like, right? That same sort of thing. So for most people, that would go completely under the radar, right? They would go out for a jog, their heart would increase, and they go, I had a good workout and feel great. If I walked too fast and my heart started beating, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm having a heart attack. And then that would start the whole cycle of feeling it more and then feeling, oh no, I'm going to have a heart attack. I think I really am. And then it would pump even harder. And it just became that self-fulfilling cycle. And so what we're doing is to step back from that. It's to recognize that this is happening, that yes, the heart is beating. It's okay.
Oh,
Todd,
Todd, I think you maybe went blank for a little bit.
Thank you. I just got a thing saying that our internet connection is unstable. That was weird. Are we back?
I can hear you now.
I was blaming mine.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. No, I think it was ours. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Thank you. So we want to come back to where we recognize that these sensations are there. The heart is beating. Yes, that's okay. What I found to be really helpful is breathing and doing some deep breaths so that I could really feel.
Sometimes it's so hard to breathe.
It is. It is.
I hear people say, but breathe. And I'm going, I wish I could.
I know. It, as much as you can get in, because that's also sending signals to the body that it's okay, right? Because when we're in a panic, fight, flight situation, we breathe shallow. We tense up. And so if you can have a deep, slow exhalation, it sends the signal back to the nervous system that, okay, everything is safe. I can relax. And it becomes that positive self-fulfilling cycle as opposed to the negative one that we tend to get locked into. But it's also, if we can, like I was saying to Farron, that if you can feel like what your feet feel like right now, there's probably no anxiety in your feet.
This is one thing I do that's caught me here. It's like I can't sit up and put my feet on the ground for some reason.
Okay.
This bed has become the floor for me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. That's okay. But can you feel what your feet feel like, even if they're not on the floor?
For some reason, you know what I do is I turn myself around.
No,
just
now.
I put my feet on the headboard.
You can do, but can you feel?
Now.
Yeah, like right now, can you feel like your socks on your feet?
Yeah.
And do you feel that sensation is probably pretty neutral?
Yeah.
Right? Like there's no anxiety in the sensation of socks on the feet.
Yeah.
Right? So that, even though you're not aware of it most of the time, is just as much a part of your lived experience as the feelings of not being able to breathe and heart racing and all that. So one thing that we can do when those sensations take precedent, when all of a sudden we're thinking about our breathing and our heart, and logically you're not having a heart attack. Logically you're not suffocating, right? You're in the same position you've been in for decades, and these are same sensations you have felt for so long. They're just biological reactions. Instead, we take attention, and instead of being completely hyper-focused on that, which is our normal way of being, we divert the attention down to where we are still present in the body, but they are not those problematic sensations. We find that there's a neutrality in just the feeling of the socks on my feet right now. It can be useful if you blow on the palm of your hand and just feel the neutrality of the sensation of blowing into the palm of the hand. It's taking you where the insula is still working, right? You're still having interoception experience, but now it's not those particular experiences or sensations which are taking like 100% of your cognitive awareness. Now it's going to, okay, but I'm also feeling this. That's actually kind of soothing. That's kind of nice when I feel my palm of my hand.
I've done, all the...
Yeah, exactly. And And so like, yeah, so whatever we're doing,
Self-soothing.
exactly. And it's, you know, it's really a way of using what is already happening in the body and diverting it so that it's no longer kind of a negative cycle. You know, we're instead going to where, okay, I'm still feeling my breathing, but it's giving a positive calming impulse as opposed to an alarm bell that something is wrong and something is a problem. When we feel the blowing on the palm of the hand, the feeling of the feet, feeling of what I really like is, this one's a little bit more abstract, but feeling kind of the air around the body, feeling the sensation sort of above
space
the body. Right, exactly. The feeling of
around.
space. Exactly.
Yeah.
If you can tap into that, then all of this can still be going on. And you can know, this is where it's like the mind is not helpful in some ways, but we can kind of enlist it if we're skillful about it. So we can feel the sensations in the space around us, and it gives us perspective. So now these sensations are still here, the breathing, you know, difficulties and the heartbeat and all of that. But now I'm feeling all this other space, and that's great. And now I can also, now that there's some perspective happening, now I can also question, is there really any danger here? Right? You can look around your room and you can see that actually, no. Oh, shit.
Oh no.
He's gone.
Finish what you're saying,
Yeah.
because he can watch the recording afterwards.
Yeah. I'm sorry your connection went.
Sorry,
So, but if we can be in the space where I can feel the space around and then use the mind to ask, realistically, is there any danger here? And the mind, of course, you know, might habitually chime in with, oh, but the world is dangerous and I'm this little being and it's, you know, big and scary and all that. Come out of those conceptualizations and look in your room directly around you. Is there actually any danger which is visible right now? Is this body physically in mortal danger? And you will most likely find that it is not. And having that being reflected back that, okay, actually, I am safe. It's okay. Even self-reminding yourself through talk, I'm safe. It's okay. I'm alone, alone in my house. I am safe. Whatever you need to do to reinforce that connection with what is actually here and not what the mind is creating, because the mind is always able to make, you know, monsters and dangers outside of that wall. And if we continue to engage in that, as has been the habit for many of our lives, there's no reason for it to go, you know, to stop doing that or to have any other experience but that. So the more we can practice using the mind in positive, constructive ways, as well as being in the body in ways which we're still feeling what's here, but we're feeling it. We're feeling the neutrality or even the pleasantness that's always here that we just simply haven't given the attention to, because we tend to be attracted to giving attention to alarm signals as opposed to just you know, things that are neutral or even pleasant. They don't make the cut. They don't make the conscious radar. So we're learning moment by moment when we have anxiety to redirect the mind in ways that are more constructive. And we're literally reconditioning the way that we have been wired over the course of our lives. Instead of finding danger everywhere, we're starting to find safety instead. There have been periods in our life when there probably were danger, but there were many more when safety has been there. And yet we're not geared to find that because we have this negative bias where we're constantly looking for danger, not for, you know, safety. And so we're just changing our view and changing our starting point.
I love that. And again, like Todd said about blowing on the hand, is also some also have with elastic band on the wrist. And it's basically when you have that feeling of anxiety that is in the body, it's about not diverting that interoception, but just noticing the rest of the field. It's not the entire room that's red. It feels like that, but outside of that, there's an entire field. And for example, John, now next time that you have to put your feet on the floor and you have that feeling of anxiety about putting the feet on the floor, feel that anxiety that you have. I'm not putting my feet on the floor. I'm not putting the feet on the floor. And then blow on your hand. Mm-hmm. And notice how the wind is kind of dispersing off your hand. And notice how the feeling of fear of putting the feet on the floor it's like it's getting smaller and smaller the more you notice the wind dispersing on the hand. Or like Todd said, before you're going out, instead of taking a pill, then sit and just circle, let your eyes outline something you see outside of you. Or before you're going out, before you're taking a pill, look around the room and notice everything that is blue and mention out loud all the things you see that are blue, because it's taking you away from that internal feeling that sees everything completely out of proportion into noticing what is outside of you.
Yeah. 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 And for anybody with anxiety, I mean, such a major turning point for me was the whole, and I've talked about this many times before, but it is the whole no self anatta understanding, because anxiety is inherently self-reflective. It is always me in the center of the universe, being the one who is small and weak and in danger of losing something and
spending the rest of eternity in a black void.
Yeah, exactly. It's always that idea that there is this central me at the middle of everything, every experience, every interaction, and that I am somehow more important than everybody else. I think he's back.
I think if you click,
he's back. Yeah,
he's back.
Yeah, let's see if we can find you.
Put your hand up. I can find. Oh, no, I found you.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, if you turn your camera,
to everyone in the
just
room as well.
Oh, it's okay.
You couldn't make this up. It's
no, it's okay. It's okay.
If you turn your camera on, I can highlight you.
Okay. All right. But I can't guarantee, obviously.
Oh, it's not him. It's not
him.
It moved. Sorry. On. Where'd you go?
Here we go.
There you go. There you go. Good to have you back.
Well, so we kept talking, so you can hear the recording afterwards, so you can hear what we said to you.
Okay. All right.
But no. Well, what I was saying is, you might have heard me say this before, but one of the things that was so helpful for me with anxiety was that recognition of anatta, that the no self, and it doesn't even have to be in some big grandiose explosive awakening experience. It's more because with anxiety, everything is self-related, that there's always a self in the center of every moment of concern.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. And so the more we can become aware of that too, when you're having those moments of anxiety, in this, depending on how much inquiry stuff you've done in the past, it can also be helpful to turn that around and look for who is the one who is believed to be in danger at this moment. Yeah. Having that can really be such a powerful opening as well, both from the awakening side of things and also for the getting a handle on the anxiety side.
Okay, one last question is, I've watched your videos on anxiety. Give me, what's the best out of all the recordings, because there are many, just the best one for me to look at just at the moment. No guarantees. I'm not asking for guarantees.
No. It's just there are so many. As you say,
I always have a hard time, because when I make stuff, especially, I get in the kind of the mode of talking about something and making a video or making an inquiry or making whatever, and then I generally forget completely what I have made. And so I have ironically, people who do our stuff are much better walking catalogs of our videos than we actually are. I'm really bad at remembering what videos I've made and what they're about, because it's sort of like, in the moment of creation, they're there, and then they're free to the world, and then I kind of forget.
I think you made one about anxiety, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I have to go back through and see. I'm sorry, I don't have like a
That's
better.
okay. That's okay. It's all right. I've got that now. And I'll continue with the hope.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
And I'm laughing, and I'm in the middle of anxiety.
And that's fantastic. And that's the thing, is it doesn't. I think we have that idea that, like, every emotion, or especially things like anxiety, have to be like an all-encompassing, all, pervasive experience. And here we are, right? You can coexist with laughter and with humor and with joy, and also have this sensation in the body that's just kind of, on edge. There's a turbulence there, but it's not really anxiety with the big capital A. It is a state of being in the body, which is not solely determinate on how you have to be with it, right? You can have a broken leg and still have a wonderful time, at an amusement park, right? Like you can be happy and have a chronic illness. Those two don't have to be mutually exclusive. And the same with anxiety, that you can have a sensation in the body that says, the heart is racing. You can say that there's, tension, all these things here, and you can still be happy, joyful, have this whole other level of experience that's not immediately tied in with the physical state of the body in that way. And that's why when we talk about equanimity, it is being able to be okay with whatever is going on.
Yeah, well, that's equanimity. Is equanimity. There's,
exactly.
Exactly. And I'll be like, but it was me who became angry. I realized that. Yeah. I started all this just because I woke up one day in such horrendous fear. I couldn't even move from the bed, and the world kept going by in cars.
Yeah.
And I thought, don't they realize there's a person in this room? Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost contact with all my family. My family didn't want to know. My daughter didn't want to know.
But
that just kept me feeling alone again.
Yeah, of course.
But just like you in that moment, lying in bed and the whole world is just passing by, and you feel, don't they know there's a person in here? In that moment, you're not aware that there's a person out there with anxiety, and there's a person out there with agoraphobia. Sure. And there's a person out there with bipolar disorder, and there's you're not aware of that, because, like Todd says, when you have anxiety, you are taking up the entire space, and what you're craving is for other people to see you.
Yeah.
But you also need to see you, and you do that by putting things into perspective, like Todd was talking about, that noticing what else is here. I'm so sorry that all these things have happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Not your fault. Yeah. I look at I'll go look in the bathroom mirror. I'll go, it's not your fault.
Yeah, exactly right. It's not. It's just the way things happen.
It wasn't your fault.
No.
Whatever happened when you were 14, it wasn't your fault.
No.
It wasn't your fault. You were just there.
I'll go because other people, I'm aware. And
so much.
Grateful.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I think I've talked enough for 3 hours now.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure meeting you. Yeah, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We'll
I
hope
don't
to see you soon.
It's you over there and me in here. Not when we're talking like this. How can that be?
I know.
My mind goes, we're in the same room.
We are. It's because we're you.
Yeah.
You're us and we're you.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Thank you so much.
Namaste, man.
Hey, this is Susan. I just want to put a call out to say thank you so much for your 3 hours of generosity for Nilla and Todd, and for anyone who wants to contribute generosity back to them. This is how they support themselves and their livelihood. And I put a link in the comments. And
thank you, Susan.
And I only made it at 10:30. I thought I'd get a half hour. I got a whole session. So thank you so dearly. And
thank you so much.
For those who are financially able and willing, I think it's just part of the karma to keep everything a little bit balanced. So
thank you so much. It helps a lot. It helps a lot. Thank you so much.
And thanks to everyone who shared. At least the last hour and a half I heard, that was awesome.
Yeah. It's really been a great day.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
And thank you, Susan.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying that. It was really, we are very bad at mentioning it. So thank you so much.
We are.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I think that was it.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you put it on gallery? It's up. Yeah. Thank you so much for everybody who is still here. Thank you so much for everybody who participated. Thank you so much for everybody who's watching afterwards.
And thank you for all the links
for managing everything. Thank you so much. And hopefully see you guys on Sunday.
Yeah. See you then. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.